Welcome to Semper Hooah podcast.
We're getting ready to start selling on our own website, direct to consumer, and we'll be on Amazon shortly.
The big black dildos, huh?
That's right.
All right, welcome to Semper Hooah podcast. There we go. Yeah, that's such fucking kill that bullshit. All right, guys, how's it going?
I keep getting a server error on this thing.
Hit cancel.
I do.
Okay, Sami, good to see you. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Petey's in the closet.
Thank you for calling Technology Help Desk.
And our guest today is Schmitty. Schmitty is an AGR Intel weenie in the Army Reserve. All right, full timer. How's it going, bud?
Right on. Thanks
Is
for
that
having
the
me.
official title?
What?
Weenie?
Weenie. Intel weenie.
It actually is, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's on the regimental crest. Like, it's got a,
It's got a dick.
Finally a unit with the green weenie.
yeah,
But it's got thick black glasses with white fucking medical tape holding it together in the middle.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna get a little Q&A with you later on in the show. First, we're gonna do our, our bullshit and all that, pluggy stuff. Petey, you want to handle this pluggy at the first one?
Sure, but I now have an idea for a new product line.
Okay.
Having the Intel Weenie series.
Yeah.
Literally. Have the green weenie wearing those glasses.
I like it.
I like it.
It's not a bad
Special
idea.
We'll get a T-shirt going.
Not just for him, but for her as well.
All right.
Should definitely do some cozies or whatever. with that.
Koozies.
Cozy.
Goddamn redneck. Fucking
Kazi's is
You
a
bring your
pizza.
own to the bar, don't you?
I actually do not know. No. I am a firm believer. So, like, down south, like, we do a lot of light beer drinking, especially during the summertime or whatever. If you show up to the party without a koozie, man, you're just... What are you?
Well, you got to do it nowadays to hide the Bud Light that you're actually drinking.
Oh, speaking of Bud Light,
All right.
this week's episode is sponsored by the Jim Jones Memorial Foundation, helping today's Americans remember one of yesterday's greatest social and spiritual leaders.
For our younger listeners, if you don't know who Jim Jones is, Google that shit. It's pretty fucking rough. All right.
What is it, like sponsored by his estate?
Are we carrying his Kool-Aid line now?
Yeah, basically, Roscoe's been giving me a bunch of good sponsorship things to throw up. I'm like, we're going to just keep doing those. What's up here? Oh, yeah. Sorry. If you'd like to support us, the contribution, you all right, bud?
I'm good. I'm straight, man.
Head on over to semper.com and click on that support us button. You can also grab some merch by there, and all proceeds go to Land for Heroes Lodge, a retreat being built for veterans and first responders in Southampton County, Virginia, by country music artist Colton James.
Yeah,
What a cause.
that's why that one threw me off, because I'm like, I
expecting
thought
that
we
one?
were doing something else.
Beatty, DOD advisory, please.
As always, all views and opinions are not expressed with a DOD, any government agency, or where was he? Massachusetts International Guard? I don't know.
Speaking of that, that's the first thing we're going to talk about.
He scrolled ahead.
The accused Air National Guardsman leaked classified intelligence for more than a year. That fucking happened. He's been doing it for a while.
Was that the one that dropped all the Ukraine shit?
That was
Yes.
the one on Discord, right? Airman Jack I spell that name Texteria.
Sure.
Also goes by the name of OG, by the way, which fucking scared the shit out of me because I kept getting a bunch of shit like, dude, what'd you do? I'm like, hey, first I'm on the Air Guard, and I don't even know what Discord is.
Right.
I know what the Sipper is. So he's been doing this for a while here. It's the additional information, 600 something members going since February 22, basically. Just leaked a lot more shit. And a lot of things been coming on this. A lot of questions been brought up. Everyone's like, hey, you guys want to talk about this?
How did it take him a year to figure that shit out?
Well, Schmitty, it's the government, right?
That's fair, yeah.
I mean, they seem to be pretty on top of, like, when Snowden and fucking Manning did this shit.
So it's interesting you say that, because when Snowden leaked his stuff or whatever, and they do a okay-ish job in the movie called Snowden about him or whatever, portraying what happened, but he was able to get out of the skiff, and he was in Hawaii, was able to get out of the skiff with the the
Rubik's
ship
Cube.
that had, and it wasn't in a Rubik's Cube, I don't think, but it may have been. Like, I don't know how historically accurate that specific part is.
Well, he said it in the documentary, too.
Yeah. So he was able to, get out of there and made it all the way to fucking China to give this information out before they actually, were starting the manhunt. And that's a pretty good illustration of this, but
Yeah, but that was like, we're talking like the span of a few days, and they were on his ass.
that's true. I guess, but you also have to remember that this is as far away from the military capital of the world as it was, and this was literally in the military capital of the world.
The problem also is that like Snowden was releasing it to sources that were then broadcasting it on the national thing.
Yeah, for sure.
This was on Discord or whatever else, or it was a small little group of fucking gamers or something like that. And then it started to kind of grow.
And it
grow
like
and
I don't
grow,
think this is him. I would have to go and double check myself, but I'm pretty sure that he is not the one that was doing like the tank armor and shit for that whatever tank game was also out that they were like getting classified documents or whatever.
I think that was something else.
Yeah, I think that was a different guy, but it's basically the same thing, right? So he was leaking all these like technical documents and then battlefield documents and stuff like that or whatever to his Discord people, and it's absolutely insane to me, man. Like, one of the like a lot of people are concerned about like overclassification of material. Like they're like, well, like we should be able to know this, blah 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 blah. And the information in and of itself isn't necessarily classified. It's protecting the source, right? Like that's
Correct.
the big thing. So like, if I
sources and methods, folks, sources and methods.
yeah, 100%.
Well, when it comes to like technology and stuff like that, especially when it comes to like armored vehicles and all that kind of stuff, like I kind of appreciate that stuff being classified and not released or anything
For
like
sure.
that. But then when it,
Except for when you get drunk and then let me tell you.
fuck up.
But you see the practical applications of that as well, because like we've given equipment to our allies or whatever, and we've always got like the next generation of that. Like we don't always necessarily.
Well, that's
give
what
the
they
best
said when we made that deal for the Abrams for the Ukrainians.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
like, you're getting the tank, you are not getting the armor.
Yeah, you're not getting what we use. Yeah.
All right, so we got little info on this guy.
Also, low key, it's us and the British that use the same armor.
Just low key. Good to be honest. Actually, some more leaked stuff that happened with the reports. The military tracked at least 3 more spy balloons in the leaked documents report. So 2 months after the U.S. military shot down several aerial objects. Remember the Chinese spy balloon?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool, yeah. Including the Chinese spy balloon. Leaked documents reveal that there were at least 3 other spy balloons, including one that flew over over an American carrier group. So that happened. You got any intel on that, bud?
I actually don't, and that's like we talked about this a little before the show started or whatever, and I haven't seen this update or whatever, so I'd like to go ahead and read that one. The original stuff I thought was really freaking interesting though. Like there was like mass hysteria of everybody saying there was gonna be like an alien invasion or whatever. Like they thought that the aliens were coming or whatever, and it was absolutely hysterical to me. Like so, I definitely want to go and look at what further came out. I'd also like to say that if this is like overly concerning to you, like out there listening to this podcast, remember that we also collect data on the rest of the world. So like it's not unheard of for
Fuck ton of data.
yeah, Snowden told
We're the
us.
best at it.
So like it's not uncommon, like even for our allies or whatever, like we have stuff that we don't share with our allies, they have stuff they don't share with us. We want to make sure that we have an understanding of the world or whatever, so like it's not uncommon.
Low key, that's why we have diplomatic missions all over the world,
100%.
is so we
Right.
can put CIA agents in those fucking embassies to gather intel on everybody.
And like we have to like have a legitimate understanding of what's going on, like I was about to say or whatever. Like if we were going to go into XYZ battlefield or whatever, we're not just going to go in completely blind. So like we have to have a preemptive knowledge of what's going on.
Mhm.
All over
Tell
the
me
place.
about Iraq.
Then WMDs.
You want that from the PSYOP perspective there?
They were all buried in Syria. Okay, come on. We know.
Well, speaking of UFOs, it's nothing. The Pentagon unidentified aerial sightings now number up to more than 650. So, like,
Yeah.
there's the original report was like, okay, there's about 140 or so, and then the new one just released that came out. Now they're up to 650. So that's a big thing. Like that, there's a lot more of these sightings, right?
Yeah.
It
we
was
don't know what it is.
swamp gas and Venus.
So I will have to go back. I meant to get you to pull the video up or the clip up before this or whatever.
That's not gonna happen. Jones ain't here.
But there was a naval pilot, like a fighter pilot, on Joe Rogan's show, and it was like a one little 30-second clip or whatever where he admitted to like seeing smoke or a heat signature or whatever on nods. And then so like they're just doing a regular training exercise, and they'll fucking fly out to the middle of nowhere where these people are camping, cut the engine, clicks back, so they're just like coasting. They can't hear them, they can't see them or whatever. And then they pull some G's, nose up, and then light the afterburner so it looks like a UFO, and then they just like jet off as fast as the plane can go. So like they're admitting to fucking with U.S. citizens basically. So,
Well, that's
Yeah, but I mean, like that's something flyboys do. Like you know, everyone's seen like that ground speed check
like Dick Trump,
shit,
you know.
where the guy's in like a Cessna, and then there's a guy in like flying around in like a 747, and then a guy in an F-18, and then Got an SR-71, does a ground speed check, is like 2,000 miles an hour.
And don't forget the dick drawings.
Yes,
Aviators love those. Yeah.
Several of them.
Yeah.
Air Force and the Navy.
Yeah, right.
Not to be outdone by each other.
All right.
So this next one, I don't know
yeah.
how I feel about it, right?
Yeah, right. It's a little
Taliban kill mastermind of suicide bombing at Kabul airport.
Are we sending them consultants on how to
Well, we trained half of them.
And
A ground assault by the Taliban killed the Islamic State militant who spearheaded the August 2021 suicide bombing at the Kabul airport that left 13 U.S. troops and about 170 Afghans dead during the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan.
which they
Well, they don't tolerate that kind of
Thanks.
shit in their regime.
I don't think they
actually. So, the Taliban absolutely hate ISIS and the Islamic State,
and that's why they covered our ass at the airport. Like they were building the perimeter around the fucking.
and they're like, "Get the fuck out, or we will take care of
Well,
our
it's
own
'cause
shit."
the Taliban actually, not to praise them or anything like that, they did run an actual government.
for sure.
yeah.
Regardless of their very strict laws and stuff. I mean, there's parts of Afghanistan where they actually banned smoking hookah.
Right.
Yeah,
Which
that
I don't
was
know
right when they did that shit, right?
I don't know how serious you guys know how bad that is in a Middle Eastern country.
I remember because
That's very
we
serious.
covered them. They were banning shit. I was
Yeah.
like, what? What
Right.
Well, it's because it's technically considered an intoxicant, but
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, I don't know. They'll still probably chew cotton in fucking the Middle East too. So then,
Speaking of that kind of general area,
Conflict in Sudan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
been blowing up.
yeah,
that's
Fighting
been
is between
interesting.
two rival generals, General Abdel Fattah Burhan, who leads the Sudanese military, and General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, who leads the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group. Caught in between are millions of civilians who have made their support for a democratic government clear.
yeah. So we at the SF went in there and cleared out our peeps there from the.
yeah,
What was it? And then
Airlift
And it was
them out.
like
They evacuated the embassy. Us
Yeah.
and the British, I know for sure, evacuated our embassies. I don't know about any other
So
country.
many people
Yeah.
don't realize that a lot of this is actually due to Russian influence operations in the area with the gold trade, because they were circumventing all the sanctions and all that shit in order to pretty much black market fucking gold. So yeah, they've been funneling all sorts of crazy influence in there.
Did you hear the I don't know, it was the White House dude. Somebody was there. Somebody was talking about it afterwards. It's not our responsibility though to get every American out of it. And I was like, out of there. I went. I know it's not technically. It's it's kind of. It is a little like they need help, but it's not your job to go out there and go grab every single person.
No. But here,
A lot of people are complaining though about the Department of State as far as how
Yeah.
poor their information advisory is.
so that's not entirely true. Okay, so here's the thing. Their information submitting is poor because a lot of Americans actually do not know how to sign up to get that information.
No. What I'm saying is, even for hey, we're telling you to get out of the country, the resources that they're providing and the information, how to get from point A to point B, so that the Saudis can pick you up at the port in Eritrea or whatever.
Well, but okay, so here's what that is. They probably don't even know those details because it's probably a very small mission. They probably don't know what routes are clear or anything like that. I mean, not to heap praise on the government or anything like that, but if you ever are going to any of these third world countries, if you go to the U.S. Department of State website, you can actually sign up for the travel notifications, and they'll let you know about the threat levels that you face. And
that's actually a requirement for service members. You have to.
Yeah.
You gotta get a foreign travel briefing before you get somewhere.
I had to do that when I went contracting in Iraq, and I still get the fucking notifications. Apparently, they don't know what unsubscribe means, but hey, whatever.
I think this is really interesting, and one of my friends in the IC and I were having a conversation last weekend, and we were like, do you think that we're going to get it in that conflict? Do you think we're going to participate in that? And this is a really, really what's the lesson learned from the Second World War here? Because it's the war on two fronts or whatever. It's a perfect storm of events, unfortunately, for any intervention that we have now to assist in any of our allies or
I don't see Sudan being the flashpoint for this one.
that wasn't my assertion necessarily, but like I said, it's a war on two fronts sort of deal. If we did send additional support to the Horn of Africa to help Sudan, then would that also create enough instability for China to say, okay, well, the U.S. has got their guard down, we're going to take Taiwan? Would that possibly be feasible? And then the answer is yes.
We're spread too thin, right?
China should look at lessons of history in the fact that we fought a two-front war and won. Fuck you, Germany.
Yeah, everyone's talking about their Air Force too in China, and I'm like, what do you mean their Air Force? They're
We have the two largest air forces in the world between the U.S. Air Force and the Navy.
Not to mention that their Gen 5 fighter is a Gen 4.5 fighter.
It is.
It's not an F-35 and it's not a Raptor.
God damn it! Didn't you see Top Gun Maverick?
That was the Su-57, not the Chinese J-20.
Yeah, but they also like the Air Force. The Chinese Air Force hasn't fought in any fucking shit ever. Like they don't have any combat experience at all.
I don't think their Navy does either.
Whatever. Speaking of global, military spending and stuff too, because there's a lot of cost here. It's up an all-time high, obviously because of what the fuck's going on in Europe. But it grew like fucking crazy.
Oh, notice how fast those NATO contributions finally started going.
Dude, like 2.24 trillion fucking dollars was spent, dude, and that's up like 13%.
Yo,
like
we
the
need
most
to
in
get
30 years.
Which is
Right.
funny
Get in
because
on
I
these
saw one of
military
Poland's advertisement for like tourism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of the like main bullet points in that tourism thing, other than like all the innovation and upgrades that they've done to their country as a whole, was, hey, we're like the only European country that keeps our fucking promise of NATO contributions to GDP. It's got to be like, what, 2 or 3%? It's like, we far exceed it. And like, we are a secure and safe country.
They're going to be a European superpower.
Hell yeah.
Fucking A.
I guess we're going to get cornholed by the Russians.
You know what? Let's get some funny shit, because this is all way too serious around here. All right, who wants the first one up?
I got it. Civil War reenactor goes off script amidst plan to bomb battlefield.
South rise again. Oh yeah, brother.
Amen, brother. Taking this
Raise
shit
hell and praise
too
Dale.
Hey,
seriously.
don't you dare talk dirty about Dale, man.
Oh man. A Virginia man, not to be confused with Florida man, recently confessed to bringing a pipe bomb to a Civil War reenactment, creating a less than historic retelling of how an important battle unfolded.
This makes me think about the Cleveland show, man. Like, I don't know if you guys ever watched it or whatever, but there's an episode where they do a Civil War reenactment for the Battle of Stoolbin, where the show's set or whatever, and they're like, what if we knew how it ended? And then they like go to the library, they look up the battle or whatever, like, oh, this is what happened. So then they go like take out the Union troops or whatever, and it was great. So like, we can change history, man. Apparently.
Gerald Leonard Drake, 63, a former Civil War reenactor, was federally charged for mailing threatening letters and planting an explosive device at the Cedar Creek battlefield in Middletown, Virginia, during a reenactment event.
That'll show him.
Yeah, right? Pleaded guilty on April 17th to possession of an unregistered explosive device. And for stalking, according to the release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Virginia.
So in Virginia, I can register my explosive devices?
Hold on. Okay, so let me get this straight. Like, you're telling me that the guys who bombed the Boston Marathon got charged with an unregistered explosive device? That's like taking down a mobster for tax evasion instead of murder. It's like, I got
Unregistered explosive.
this is the only thing.
I love it. All
my
right,
God.
next one up. Oh, here we go.
Female commander investigated over alleged sexual assault.
Semper spicy.
I'm gonna roll you into a little ball and shove you up my vagina.
All right.
Assaults of
brothers?
male subordinates. A top officer in the Army's 5th SFAB Security Force Assistant Brigade has been investigated following allegations of multiple sexual assaults and a pattern of sexual harassment, according to 2 sources with knowledge of the investigation. Which, by the way, if you haven't been tracking, SFAB's been firing a whole bunch of their officers.
Yeah, there's a lot of that
Yeah,
shit
but this
going
chick is just like touching dudes' dicks.
Yeah, all right, let's see what happens here.
Nice.
Colonel Megan Sullivan, commander of the 5th Brigade Engineer Battalion, 5th SFAB, faces allegations of assaulting at least 2 subordinate men and harassing several others, with some of those incidents allegedly tied to alcohol abuse, according to 1 of 2 sources. At least one of those alleged assaults involved forceful kissing, and another grabbing a man below the belt without his consent.
Nice.
He did not want the tea. Dude. Sullivan is seemingly still in command, though. Commanders are sometimes suspended amid investigation.
Listen, you know how we are around here about this kind of shit, right? But when it comes to a female doing it to a guy, I'm like, whatever, dude. Double standard, bro. It's like, when a woman does it, it's like,
I wonder if she had a phone call. I wonder if she had a phone call where she's like, yeah, I just can't help myself. I just walk around and grab him by the dick.
like that fucking hot female teacher that fucks the 15-year-old boy or 16-year-old boy.
Nice.
Nice. It is.
Yikes.
It's like, yeah, because you're.
Time to go give him his luckiest kid in America award.
Yeah.
So I think that you have to also consider the target audience there, like in the SFABs especially, and other like special operations kind of units or whatever. Like, females have only just now started being allowed there, and they've already got their own rhythm going or whatever, and it's a huge distraction, honestly. Like, I'm not saying that like good, bad, or indifferent on their presence there or whatever. Like, it's legitimately caused a distraction, and if this is a legitimate problem, they're like, hey man, like, we don't have fucking time for this shit.
And SVABs aren't special.
You made it from Semper spicy to Semper serious. And
Well,
like
I
all right.
You
I'm
invited
sorry-
him on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you.
One
for
of the
that, Boyd.
greatest quotes I saw this week was that the Army loves standards so much they doubled it.
That's funny. But yeah, man, like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I think that, like, I think whenever one of my predecessors was on the show, actually, she also said something about how the like it's kind of taken as a joke like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, it is. It always is,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because
Like, they don't believe that it's actually possible for you
Honestly,
to be non-consensually.
This goes back even farther. I don't know if you all remember back, I believe it was late 80s, early 90s. Michael Douglas did a movie with Demi Moore called, what was it? It started with a D. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it was about the same thing. Disclosure.
There
That
you
was
go.
it. It was just about the same thing where he was getting sexually harassed by her.
And
Okay.
nobody took his side.
Well, also,
Yeah, because no one's going to believe it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why like, unfortunately, that stigma is why a lot of sexual assaults and harassment claims go unreported in the military. And
Correct.
see what I think it is in actually what's happening here. I got maybe just a theory on this. Maybe these couple of guys were banging her, and their wives found out, and they're like, "Oh man, she touched me below the belt."
Allegedly.
Allegedly, you know, like, you know, maybe that's my theory though. Like, they were, you know, stooping, and they got caught with it, and they're like, "Fuck, I gotta tell my wife some bullshit," and
it could be, but then that's
Could just
also
be
that
that
could
this
be
shit was-
victim shaming there a little bit, man. Like,
The other
we don't
thing-
know the situation. You know what I mean?
The other thing could be they said alcohol was potentially involved. This might not have happened like on base or during working hours, and this could be something that they didn't want to get charged with fraternization.
This is what happens when you shut down the NCO and the officer club.
Yeah, right.
Make us commingle.
they can still make.
It's at Camp Shelby. It's actually now like the All Ranks Club. Like they've got one bar
That's a
on place. It's called
recipe
the
for
All
fucking
Ranks Club.
disaster.
Where's Camp Shelby? That's
That is Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
That's right. Oh, well, where you're from? We'll get into that in a little bit.
A little bit later.
MISS.
Before we get past this, did you say that SFABs are not like they're not? I understand that they're not legitimately under USASOC or whatever, but they are like the vast majority of their members have tabs and they're doing like liaising missions.
It's like when all the old former fucking green beanies, like, they didn't want to stay in like combat missions and whatever else, so they came up with civil affairs, so they could still be like
They came up with it.
operator light. No, it's
It's
true.
operator light, yeah.
It's operator light.
We're
So all
just
these long
we're too old for
tabbers-
this shit, but I
When
still want to be part of the world.
When I was
you
in
know?
Nicaragua for 2 weeks.
Honduras, 88.
Honduras in 88.
Yeah, Honduras
Still gotta
88.
make that T-shirt.
Yes.
But it's like all these long tabbers and graybeards, right? And they're like, we still want to like be cool guy and special and whatever else, but like we don't want to be kicking down doors and shit. So
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
But they're
they
like-
have an important mission, but they took all of it away. I mean, I get like the whole thing, conventional versus special and whatever,
Yeah.
in their intent, but it's like it's still the green beanies mission set.
I really feel like that's a little bit of green versus purple, like bias you got there, Pete.
No, I just facts are
They
facts.
have a purple beret.
No,
they have a fucking
CA is
brown.
purple.
Oh, green,
Yeah,
purple.
he's saying that I'm.
Gotcha. I got
yeah,
caught on
shitting
that. I got it.
CA.
I got it. That's what the purple's for.
Yeah.
It's on my crest.
There you go, bud.
20 years. You learn something new every day. More, I just don't really give a fuck because I'm a combo guy. So whatever. Just how I make radio work. Anyway, all right. What's up next? Who's got it?
This sounds like a PD.
Shit
Yeah.
falling from the ceiling shows military housing issues persist.
Dude,
If you thought mold in the barracks was bad.
gross, right?
Joy Vieira and her family were excited to move into the base housing at Fort Gordon, Georgia, last May after living in hotels for 5 weeks. But it didn't last long. That night, things took a turn, she said. Around 8 p.m., 2,000 hours for you military folks. After an upstairs toilet had failed to flush, after an MRE poop, she noticed a liquid leaking from multiple spots in the kitchen ceiling. It was brown. It was disgusting. And it was flowing uncontrollably, including into the bathtub.
Are you sure this isn't military satire of the week?
It's like a murder mystery voice. I love it. Keep going.
And if it's a true dependa, she sounded like this. Water with shit was falling into our kitchen with our groceries. We just bought and onto our poochie, she said.
That would be dog for those of you that aren't familiar with dependent speak.
Issues like these faced by Vieira's continue despite the massive reforms enacted by Congress more than 3 years ago, which required the Department of Defense and Military Services to address a raft of tenant concerns and improve their oversight of privatized housing.
First of all, it's gross as shit, right?
Yeah.
I like touching on these things. It's like, dude, the mold. We've talked about mold and
Yep.
other things, water being bad, this and that.
I have a
Service in general.
quick solution for this kind of
Yeah.
issue. They have to field day just like the rest of us.
Field day your housing.
We're firsthand living this at the location of the unit that we're all a part of. If you go into Jonesy's office, like they took all the ceiling tiles down by the windows,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and in the latrines or whatever, they took down some of the ceiling tiles just because everything's like falling apart there, man. Like,
I
Oh, yeah,
remember,
'cause
I remember
that's
seeing
what's
that. Yeah.
and the guy, like the inspector dude, came by or whatever, and he was looking at those ceiling tiles. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna take those down or whatever. We're gonna have to like fix something in the pipe, and then we're gonna put them back up." That was like 3 months ago.
Still.
The
yeah.
fucking ceiling tiles are
They're
still
still
down.
trying to get the lowest
Yeah.
bidder.
Yeah. So I guess it's ongoing. There's issues everywhere. Just spend the fucking money. Obviously, Congress is
Just
they're trying
bulldoze
to-
it and start new.
They try to reform shit, but they didn't do shit yet. There's stuff fucking Camp Lejeune from like that's the new one, you know.
Yeah.
Remember for the longest time was the ear shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Now,
it's the
Camp Lejeune water.
Right. Were you
stationed at Camp Lejeune?
I'm like, God damn it! How do I lose out on that one?
God, I was at 29 Pulse.
I knew I should have said East Coast.
We didn't even have water. It's just
We
desert.
did. It's a shit lake.
Oh, that's right, the shit lake. What's the name? What's the
name of the shit lake?
again?
Lake
Yeah.
Bandini.
Lake Bandini. What was the they had, like T-shirts made for the
Oh yeah, one of the
swim team?
one of the company commanders from Tank Battalion. When he got out, he started a clothing line. And one of his flagship shirts was Lake Bandini swim team.
Yeah, this is the shit pond. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do something a little. Yeah, we're every now and then we're gonna throw these out. We're gonna do like an overachiever and then underachiever. So who wants our first overachiever in the military world?
I'll do this one.
All right. Go for it.
Overachiever Award, Navy SEAL, Doctor Astronaut Johnny Kim.
Yeah.
I heard of this guy.
Yeah, a lot of people have heard of this guy. Look at this handsome motherfucker right here,
Yeah.
man. Like, he makes everything look good.
All right.
And the Punisher skull is a great touch.
Yeah.
man.
Oh, I
That's
know,
perfect.
man. Well, he's Navy SEAL, man.
Dude,
Like,
break him down, dude.
yeah,
It's crazy.
Navy SEAL, Harvard Medical School, trained physician, and astronaut. These are all things on Lieutenant Commander Johnny Kim's already extensive list of accomplishments. Now Kim can add naval aviator to that list. Of course he fucking
why not?
can, because why the hell not?
And guess what? Since he's Asian, his parents are still disappointed he didn't.
Yeah, totally. Like,
you
not
need to
good enough.
You're not commander yet.
You're not commander. Yeah. You're not BC.
Why you not have best-selling violin album?
No general. No general. Star. Just like back in China.
Korea. His last name's Kim.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Kim complained.
Racist fuck.
Goddamn Chineses, they all look alike.
Kim completed his advanced helicopter training on March 24th, fitting on his wings at Naval Air Station Whiting Field in Milton, Florida, according to the Navy press release published this week. When it comes to achieving your childhood dreams, Kim has pretty much broken the mold. He enlisted in the Navy in 2002 at 18 years old, completed basic underwater demolition, SEAL Buds, for those of you that don't know, training before he was assigned to SEAL Team 3, where he served as combat medic, sniper, and navigator. Jesus Christ, man.
Triple threat guy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's not. It's because he's not an O. That's why he's a navigator. Yeah. And completed more than 100 combat operations spanning 2 deployments to the Middle East, including to Ramadi, Sadr City, Iraq. During that time, Kim earned a Silver Star, a Bronze Star with Combat V, along with completing the military free fall parachute as combatant diver, closed circuit rebreather, naval special warfare special reconnaissance scout sniper, and advanced special operations techniques.
But
and
wait,
qualification
there's more.
courses. But there's more.
Yeah.
Yes. Kim was commissioned through the Seaman to Admiral 21 program, graduating from the University of San Diego in 2012, and then from Harvard Medical School, where he specialized in emergency medicine. According to the Navy, during his residency at Massachusetts General Hospital and Massachusetts Brigham and
Brigham.
Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, Massachusetts, as opposed to Boston, New York. He spoke with astronaut and physician Scott Perenzinski, who encouraged him to apply to NASA. In 2017, Kim was one of 11 people selected from a pool of more than 18,300 candidates for NASA's astronaut program. He graduated with his class in December 2019, having completed instruction in spacewalking, robotics, International Space Station Systems, T-38 jet proficiency, and the Russian language.
Yeah, dude.
Kim is currently awaiting assignment to a future space flight. But wait, there's more.
It's like, dude, holy shit, right?
Fucking nerd.
Hold up.
Yeah,
slow,
fucking
slow the fuck down, high speed.
He's
Save
36 years old.
Save some fucking swag for the rest of us. Shit, man.
Dude, he's
Never been
37,
laid.
Yeah.
So in reference to this
This
last
guy's
little
got
bullet
some
point you read
big
off,
dick swinging energy right here.
Yeah.
I want to state for the people down south that the moon landing was fake. That there's no such thing as spacewalking. Like, this is all.
You
all
better watch it. Buzz Aldrin will deck your ass for that shit.
And then a minute
And
later,
then, like,
it was all fine.
I literally just had surgery at a hospital named after an astronaut, man. Like, so it's just, that's a really commonly accepted thing.
Oh my god! So, dude, this hats off to this guy. Makes our
sure.
pro kind of look like shit. That's coming up soon. Next,
What a man.
He makes everybody
Yeah.
look like shit.
Yeah,
our best, our first underachiever award. Yay!
I don't think this man has slept in 36 years.
All right, now it's time to
Wait till he discovers women.
Yeah, right.
My God, he's gonna add porn star to his fucking list of credits next, man.
Pussy. Oh,
If he isn't
my God.
already slaying ass like
Oh,
it's going out of
shit.
style.
I mean, you say that like it's we'll kind of get to this later or whatever, but I spent some time in Korea, and it's like you're not allowed to watch porn there. Like, they literally have everything fucking censored over
Till
there.
they get
that's
it
what a
here.
VPN's for.
Yeah, until they
It
get
works.
here. Until they get here. All right, let's do our underachiever award. Who wants this one? Petey? I think Petey should do this one. Yeah, definitely.
Underachiever Award, the Wagner Group. from
Wagner.
Russia.
Wagner.
Yeah, here we go.
Right.
Wagner. Yeah.
Yevgeny Prigozhin, the leader of the Kremlin-linked Wagner Group, unexpectedly called for an end to Russia's war in Ukraine because he's lost most of his force.
Because he's gonna get purged.
Keep going.
Prigozhin said the time was right to try to stop trying to seize more Ukrainian territory, consolidate control of what has in Ukraine's east, and end the fighting. The ideal option would be to announce the end of a special military operation and declare that Russia has achieved all of its planned goals, which it hasn't. And in some respects, we really have achieved them, which we haven't, Prigozhin said in more than 3,000-word blog post. List of so-called achievements by the Wagner Group includes 9,000 plus dead Wagner mercenaries, loss of street cred, like they really had any to begin with, like when we whooped your ass in fucking Syria, motherfuckers. High Ukrainian civilian death toll. War crime.
War crimes. Good job for the Wagner Group, our underachievers.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
You have continued on that
Also,
page.
like I was watching a video, like one of these, a guy who breaks down like a lot of these political and military situations really well, and like he was talking that it looks like that the only way that this whole thing's gonna end is with Putin like ending it,
Right.
and then placing blame on Prigozhin.
Well, and that's exactly what
Not a
he's
bad idea.
afraid of, is that like he's gonna get schwacked.
That's why he's making these comments like,
Right.
please mixed up. Okay. Plus, I'm losing a lot of fucking my diamonds over here. That's how I make my money. It's like my rubles.
I'm not the bad guy here.
It wasn't Kremlin catering contracts.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
right. Ding. All right. It's time for our best military satire of the week.
And it's a goodie. Space Force Special Forces operations team sidelined by mass carpal tunnel incident.
You good? You good? Carry on. Carry on.
This is gonna take a minute.
I say again, Space Force Special Forces team sidelined by mass carpal tunnel incident.
Special forces.
Spreads like an STD.
Yeah, go on.
Mere days from their first deployment, more than half of Space Team 3's members suffered a severe overtraining injury, carpal tunnel syndrome. As a result, during a classified session regarding the newest military branch, Congress grilled Space Force top brass about training abuses. Reports say the Guardians were simply pushed too hard too fast. The training cadre has been placed on paid leave while their program suffers through scrutiny from the House Armed Services Committee. These men and women are the best, and they've completed the toughest training in the world, said Space Force spokesman James T. Clark. They've clicked and they've typed, and they are the first graduates from the Space Force Special Forces Services SFSFS pipeline. It's an aluminum foil beret. Frankly, we might have asked too much of them. We have no reason to assume wrongdoing in their training. Our instructors are professional, intelligent, and fair. We must remember we're preparing for war, not weekly meetings. Though we have to be ready for those, too. Our Space Force program aims to produce the best in the world, said Clark.
Ooh, yes.
Frankly, even the Air Force hasn't seen this many cases of carpal tunnel in one unit. Space Force Colonel Roger Rocket Rotchet. The severity is next level, and I think we have to make some adjustments to the training. It'll probably start with seat heights and keyboard positioning, ergonomics. Then maybe we'll add weight training or at some standing desk with future budget growth.
Jesus Christ, man.
Clerk notes that the incident exposed a serious wrist brace shortage in the supply chain. One doctor commented, "We expect recovery to be both speedy and full. We've also developed a vaccine for carpal tunnel syndrome. It requires a weekly booster for 20 years, but early tests show promise. Hardly any test subjects have been permanently crippled." The good news is that the satellites operated by the SFS aren't really going anywhere, or rather, they'll cross overhead about every 90 minutes. So it looks like we'll have time to get this right, said the SFSFS commander, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Spark. This is another black eye in a string of problems with the Space Force. The overall impact to the downrange warfighter is yet to be seen. SFSFS teams only deployed to the space threat locations rated most severe, like Colorado and California, where they operated space-based objects from minimally decorated cubicles inside of mountains. They go months without spousal contact, and at least 2 deploying members on the current team won't meet their unborn children for almost a year. The forward detachment commander said he expects someday for members to deploy as away as distant Florida, and he looks forward to seeing America's space capabilities brought to bear against America's adversaries from the finest mouse pads the country can buy.
Oh, hats off to the
Coffee or Die or Duffel Blog.
Duffel Blog in this one. Hats off Duffel Blog once again. Support them. They're great. They come up with good shit all the time.
Absolutely gold
sure.
every time.
All the time. All right. Thank you, Petey, for that. That was nice and glorious.
It was long-winded, but it was
It
good.
was, yes. SFSFSFDC. All right. It's time for POG Pro. POG Pro.
Well, that's a nice little pointer you got there on the screen.
It's
huh?
off. Don't worry. It's not recording. All right. Our POG Pro. Who wants our POG Pro?
I'll do it.
All right.
All right. Navy Lieutenant Holly Sapien.
Go on.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking it.
I was waiting.
I was thinking it. You said it.
What, you think I mispronounced it? That's
No, no.
totally correct.
Yeah,
all right.
you're good. But I know. Yeah, go on.
A routine ferry trip across Washington State's Puget Sound turned into an emergency medical response mission for a Navy nurse who stepped up to aid a fellow passenger. Lieutenant Holly Sapien, assigned to Naval Hospital Birmingham, took the lead in stabilizing a man experiencing an epileptic seizure as the boat unexpectedly went off course. On the afternoon of April 15th, while on its standard route from Birmingham to Seattle, the Walla Walla ferry ran
That's a fucking fun name.
from a loss of power with roughly 600 passengers and crew on board. Sapien, with nearly 10 years of experience in the sea service, used her prior training to render support to the individual until fire and rescue personnel arrived and transported the patient to a local medical facility. It's nice to be there when needed and be able to jump in and help out and give peace of mind to another when there's no hospital nearby, Sapien said.
Hats
For
off
sure.
to our POG Pro there.
Here's to you, man. Here's to you.
I always like it, people come in and it's always nice, like civilian, military, doesn't matter. People save the day. I always like when they get recognized though with the military
Especially
ones,
when it's someone like just like medical training that's just on their day to day. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm just gonna save a life now.
Yeah, shit hits the fan and bam. No, hats off to her. Fantastic.
Yeah, for
sure.
Thank you, our POG Pro. You're no Johnny Kim, but
There's still time. You're young. You can still achieve that in another 6 years.
The first female Navy SEAL.
So
Those
she's
more.
got like she's got like at least 2 more pay grades to catch up with him. So like she's got plenty of time.
Yeah, he's good. All right, what's up next?
Wait, what was his pay grade?
He was a lieutenant commander.
Lieutenant commander. She's
But he was in this before.
Yeah, but she's a lieutenant.
This is 03, so she's only got 1 rank.
That's 03 in the Navy.
No,
right?
it could be an 02 as well.
Navy. She's Navy lieutenant.
Yeah, but that could be an 02 as well. There's
But
2
that's
lieutenant ranks in the
abbreviated
Navy.
LTJG.
right.
It's ensign, lieutenant junior
Right,
grade, lieutenant senior grade
right.
is 03, and then
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Fucking Navy. Okay. All right.
And that so
Scumbag moment.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
2
we're
pay
done.
grades, 1 to 2
We're
pay
done.
grades.
We're done with that. We're done. She's great. We got it. Scumbag time. All right, scumbag service members of the week. Who's up first?
How about you do one?
Oh yeah, I could do something. Yeah, I kind of been not doing shit this episode, really. Huh?
Oh, so it's fitting.
Fuck off. All right, our first one up, Army Soldier. Oh man, his name is weird. Endeavor Ryan Riley. Motherfucker's name is Endeavor.
That's ballsy to name your kid that.
A U.S. Army soldier based in Alaska is facing murder charges for the death of his wife.
Ooh, I remember reading this one.
Endeavor Ryan Riley, age 24, is currently facing felony charges by Fairbanks area law enforcement. Riley had called the police on Sunday, stating his wife was unresponsive in their bed. It's kind of like my wife every morning.
Jesus. Tamisu,
come on, baby. Let me get it in there. Fuck off.
Wow.
She's going to fucking hate me for that one. All right. The victim, Kayla Kungston?
Alleged victim.
What do you mean alleged? What the fuck you mean? Alleged victim, Kayla.
He hasn't rendered his verdict yet, man.
Had reportedly been drinking alcohol with her sister and her husband the night prior, while Riley claimed that his wife would likely blacked out and succumbed to her alcohol consumption. Text messages sent to multiple people from Kylie's phone indicated that she had been Kayla's phone has been. All right, here we go. People from Kayla's phone indicated that she had been assaulted by Riley. So she got a little proof going on there, sending shit out there. According to Fairbanks Daily News Miner, the victim had the wherewithal to send photos of her injuries to multiple friends and families before expiring. That's really well. I don't like how they said
that's a pretty dark way to put that in.
Yeah, I don't know. I copy and pasted that one. Law enforcement also found messages indicating the abuse has been going on for some time. So, Petey, I don't know. What do you think? Guilty? I'm going to go... Yep. All right, guilty. He's guilty on our side. We'll see what happens.
This is...
rough one.
It's a terrible one. It's horrible. Fucking scumbag.
We'll cheer it up with a scumbag that's not as bad. That's just some fraud. Here we go. Next scumbag.
Oh,
Who
okay.
wants
And it's
to-
a couple.
It's a couple. Speaking of couples.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Chief Warrant Officer Chris and Major Heather Hammond.
I like the warrant officer combo there.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, go on.
A military couple who ran a scheme to steal and sell more than $2 million in military equipment recently received convictions for their crimes.
So these guys are definitely loggies then, right?
Yeah.
Also, can I just point out it's a chief warrant officer and a major, like the two ranks that skate the most.
Right?
Yep.
How awesome.
I think I've seen two majors my entire time.
And
in
I believe he's
military.
a chief officer 3, too.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah,
I'm
the
getting to
ultimate
it.
Yeah.
skating one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of North Carolina announced that Chief Warrant Officer 3, Chris Hammond, 38, pleaded guilty earlier this month to theft and possession of government property and money laundering. The soldier, assigned to 3rd Special Forces Group at Fort Liberty, North Carolina.
It changed it. It's Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
And harder.
I'm going to say brag harder. North Carolina used his position to profit off the sale of items intended for his unit between 2018 and 2022. His wife, Major Heather Hammond, 34, an ROTC instructor at Campbell University in North Carolina, was convicted by a federal jury for spending money laundering proceeds and for aiding and abetting.
You know, she could have not known about that and just wanted to buy the G-Wagon. I'm just saying, man.
I got that G-Wagon.
She's a major. She could have afforded the G-Wagon without the stolen money. Like,
True.
And hubby made
No, she wants the fully loaded
Chief
one.
3.
Yeah.
The illicitly stolen gear ranged from military scopes and weapons parts to night vision goggles and all-terrain vehicles.
can we just take a pause?
Do we have their
right there?
contact info?
Yeah, right?
Like, whenever I was at Fort Huachuca, a rifle got misplaced. Not lost. Misplaced.
Misplaced.
The entire base was shut down. No one could come in or leave until that rifle was found. It was going for like a day and a half, man. Like,
We've done this before. We've
called
all
Hands
just
Across
been
America.
Exactly. Lock it down.
like, how is it possible that you can just like walk away with all that stuff?
Well, it's SF group, right? So like they're like just
They
take a
probably
little
don't
bit
know what they
here.
have anyway.
Yeah, take a little here.
Yeah.
There's so much money. I like the all-terrain shit. That was nice.
Yeah, do we have pictures of those?
That's got to
No, we
be
don't- I
the.
don't
That's
have any.
probably
No price
the.
tags or anything like that?
That's probably the
Contact
Rangers,
info?
man. The
Yeah.
Polaris Rangers that they
Oh,
have that are
yeah.
Pantana, remember?
Yeah.
Dude, I want one.
I
Those things
know.
are sweet.
Yeah.
Do you have their contact info?
We'll find. Oh, yeah, we'll reach out.
Yeah, I want to see if they got some more NVGs. They need obviously some legal defense.
So yeah,
Be able to afford it, man.
I mean, I can't really afford it, but you know,
I was talking about them. Like they'll cut you a deal because they got to be able to afford their legal defense.
right?
yeah.
Oh, I got this next
all
one.
right. So
'cause it's-
this next scumbag.
Wow, it's a
Interesting.
three-peat.
Yeah. So this guy's he's we talked about this thing last time we're in studio like a month ago.
Yep.
So here we go.
where we're just going to go drive around the fucking neighborhood and snag fucking people and, hey, you're in the Army now.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. Specialist Vincent Tucci. Fort Rucker's own Specialist Vincent Tucci was promoted from a rank of private first class to specialist, advanced from a rank of private first class to specialist.
There you go.
Thank you.
And honored for earning the U.S. Army recruiting ribbon.
The the Semper scam. Keep going.
During a ceremony at the U.S. Army Aviation Center of Excellence, April 4, 2023. Tucci is the first buddy fucker to be awarded the useless ribbon after successfully referring some poor schmuck to the Army through the U.S. Army Soldier Referral Program.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that?
Tucci's referral, Private Kayla Saunders, is currently training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
You know, inversely, you should probably not call it Scumbag, just Blue Falcon.
No, he's scumbag for this. Keep
be a
going.
human
You'll
resource
find out
specialist.
why. Yeah.
When Semper Hooah reached out to Private Saunders to get a comment on how the referral program worked out for her, she replied with, "If I ever see Tucci again, I'm going to kick his ass. That piece of shit ruined my life." And we heard next was the sound of her phone hitting the ground and loud screaming from her drill sergeant, followed by a 20-minute smoke session.
Please tell me this is true that you did that.
No, it's fucking. I satired the shit out of it. I actually had to change her name too, so I felt bad for the chick.
Yeah.
No, but fuck this guy, man. Fuck that referral program. Fuck that bullshit. You're buddy fucking people over for a goddamn dude. Like
Piece
I
of
said,
cloth.
you got specialists. Watch
So-
out.
Honestly, if I could have buddy fucked a lot of my friends during the war, I would have.
So from a promotion standpoint or whatever, and I'm not defending it or whatever, I think that ribbon's kind of silly or whatever because we've been doing advancements anyway for a long time.
Yeah.
So like whenever you first go to a recruiter or whatever for the Army anyway, if you put in or you get one of your like a referral or whatever before you actually ship to basic training, then you can like get a advancement or whatever. That ribbon specifically came about, in my opinion, because for promotion points or whatever. For a very long time, they've been talking about awards and how I don't have any awards for points or whatever. I can't control whether my person writes me an award or whatever. This is the only award that counts for points that you can actually like, quote unquote, control.
That's even a bigger fuck you to everybody.
Yeah.
Watch, you put in all this work, you fucking floor a guy, you actually get him signed up, he's shipped off, and your command still didn't write you the fucking award.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
You don't rate. You're
You don't
non-wrecked.
Oh, well, whatever, dude. Fuck this guy for doing it.
Yeah,
He's the first one ever, too. But it's all a joke with it. Like, good for him, whatever. I mean, even though he could have actually just...
Do you see how big he was smiling? He knew what he did.
Yeah, I know. He fucked that poor chick over. Really.
You got to think at that time in your life too. Like whenever you like guys at PFC, he probably just got back from training, was doing that hometown recruiting stuff or whatever. Like at that point in your career, you're still like you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Like you're big time booting. You know what I mean?
You're
like,
Semper Hooah as fuck, right? You're just like, dude, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna be a drill sergeant. Fucking Hooah right now. God, I love the Army. Oh, 20 years later.
Yeah. It doesn't take 20
Whiskey,
years, man.
maybe a gun. I don't know. Fuck. Rough. All right. We've got a to catch a service member. This one is fucking what a piece of shit. All right. Who wants this cocksucker? Anybody? Going once, going twice, going twice. I'll take it then. All right. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Ross Andrew Brown. Man, okay, here we go. An Air Force judge advocate in Hawaii is in federal custody charged with attempting to lure a 14-year-old girl into having sex with him.
A judge advocate?
Oh, it gets better.
I mean, it gets worse, but...
No, but it's funny, but it's not.
He's a JAG?
Yeah, he's a JAG officer. JAG officer.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Lieutenant Colonel Ross, dressed for less. Andrew Brown, 41, was arrested April 16th at Schofield Barracks after traveling there for what he believed would be a sexual encounter with a girl named Lizzie, according to the criminal complaint. Izzy, Lizzie, it doesn't matter. Because Izzy
doesn't exist.
There's one I.
Izzy
in there,
was
no
actually
L.
online persona created by the Army CID, not CID.
Oh,
Special
good
agent
for
who
them,
also
finally.
affiliated with the Internet Crimes Against Children Hawaii Task Force. God damn, that's a long one.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, right? During exchanges, fucking Dirty Brown over here continually steered the conversation toward explicit discussions about sex, particularly how he was an older man and could provide lessons to the young girl.
Oh, scumbag.
So fucking gross. And here's the fun caveat for this one. And by the way, his military legal experience includes prosecution of child sex offenders.
Oh, you fucking suck so hard, bro.
Guilty. Fucking A. No picture of this fucking piece of shit that I had. I can get one.
Oh, God.
But yeah. Wow. That's a little distasteful, right?
Oh, God. Dude,
Can we give the CID a little bit of praise there though?
Oh,
Like,
fuck yeah. There. I mean,
good job, guys.
yeah.
He not only like fucked being a scumbag into a coma, he like hate fucked it into
Yeah,
a coma.
for sure. And
with that one.
Thank God it was like them doing it. I like the fucking faking him getting into there. But like,
Yeah.
wow, like
It can't like
41 to a 14-year-old. That's
it sounds weird to say or whatever, but like, wouldn't you have loved to be in the room? Like, you're sitting there, like guns drawn, pointed at the door, waiting for this bastard to come in
Just
there or whatever,
fucking-
and then this dude walks in, think he's gonna see it. Whatever. How old is this girl supposed to be? 16?
14.
14. Walks in, and then he's got a whole bunch of rifles pointed in his face. He's like, "What the fuck?" Like,
hey, what are you doing here? Hey, what are you
what,
doing here?
what's
What are you
your-
doing
why are you here, bud? Like,
What's, oh god, that fucking clip.
Jesus
What was it the guy that named from? I put him on the picture all the time. What's his name?
Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen. That's right, dude. I love it that one line that he always repeated. That was like, because he was doing like the reading the message off. It's the best sex you'll ever have. It's like, holy fuck, dude, people say that shit, dude. Like it's fuck. Like I'm curious. I want to see the transcripts of what this fucker was doing to the CID guy, and I wonder how the CID guy's like, oh yeah, I'm beating this fucker.
Yeah, this guy's gonna fall down so many times on the way to the fucking car.
How fucked up is it like being that CID guy though too? Like you got to
and
write
have
some
to, you
weird
have
shit.
to pretend to be a little girl.
Yeah, little
with him.
girl.
Also-
I'm like my Hello Kitty panties are like, oh god, like it's like
Also,
nauseating.
can we just like can you imagine like the reaction on the dude's face when he finds out the guy was a jag?
Yeah, dude, and it's like, and he's a prosecutor for these
Oh,
prosecutors.
God, I hope-
fucking
I mean, they-
sex
they've probably
offenders,
been, like,
child
they-
sex offenders.
I
Not even sex
fucking-
offenders, but he prosecuted child sex offenders.
I want him to.
Like-
I want them to throw the book at this asshole. Throw him in Leavenworth and GP.
Give me another guilty. Give me another one. We keep talking about Petey. Wake up, guilty.
I'm up.
Guilty. Give me another.
Another guilty?
Yeah, I
He's
want
playing
another.
Candy Crush, man.
Yeah, I know
No, wife is texting.
he is. Well, just-
And then I
Alright.
got work text
Yes,
coming.
yeah.
Oh, so it's not Raid's Shadow Legends?
All right.
I don't play that.
Makes me sick.
We
Let's
might.
move on.
I'm not
Let's
angry
move on.
cops.
Let's move on to our military movie review. Here it is. God damn it, Schmitty. All right. You picked it. We did it. Even though Sam's been joking about it for probably 2 years of just like,
PD2.
I've been joking about it, but yes, I have seen it on my own.
you asked for this and that. You like it. We're going to get into a second here. All right. This week's movie is Delta Farce from 2007. Three bumbling Army reservists bound for Iraq are accidentally dropped at a Mexican village besieged by hostile forces. Starring Larry the Cable Guy as Larry the Cable Guy. Bill Engvall as Bill
Bill.
Engvall. DJ Qualls, that kid from all those
Road
stupid
Trip.
road trip
And new guy.
that's
Oh, yeah.
Who's the bitch now? Like,
scrawny little piece of shit. As Everett, one of my favorite characters here, Keith David as Sergeant Kilgore, and actually my second favorite, but wasn't his best acting in this movie,
Right.
Danny Trejo.
To be fair, the last two's best acting was in Rick and Morty.
Yes, but Danny Trejo as Carlos Santana. Not the
Not that
singer.
one.
Not that one. Not the singer. All right. So, Sami, you didn't even take notes. So here's a crazy thing about this movie.
I want
it was
90
so
minutes
hard.
of my life back.
It was so actually hard to find it. Like, there's nothing streaming.
yeah.
There was nothing even to purchase online. Had to go shadily VPN to get some shit. Sami at one point said,
I snuck over to Pete's house and watched it while him and the wife were asleep.
yeah,
Yep.
Pete's got it on DVD. That's crazy. Once you break this,
Can you explain to me what a DVD is? Pete?
It's one of those discs that that you can use as a reflective device when
Yeah.
you get shot down in
That's
enemy
kinda what I was thinking,
territory.
All right, since Sami doesn't have notes on this because he did it last minute and almost cried, and you picked it, we're gonna let you fucking break this down.
Yeah, sure. So, the movie starts off kind of showing their lives or whatever, and I think it's really interesting because it illustrates a dichotomy that exists with reservists as opposed to active service members, right? Like, we have a career outside of the military, and in the case of these three, rejects, so to speak, one's a waiter at a cowboy-themed restaurant, or spoilers, guys. if you don't
Whatever.
know.
I don't think anyone. Go on.
How dare you?
I don't think anyone's watching this
Carry on.
fucking movie.
Carry on.
But and then
We're gonna get so much hate mail now.
Bill's riding off a lawsuit or whatever. He's getting his J.G. Wentworth cash out settlement, and then fucking
877 cash now.
okay, cash now. It's my money and I need it now. And then DJ Qualls is like this pervy fucking security guard thing or whatever that's living in a storage unit. So that being said, like, it shows the dichotomy satirically, albeit.
Fair.
And shows the struggle of living two careers or whatever and having to leave to go to their drill weekend and presumably, have a commute or whatever. They all meet at a local store. There's no telling, and while they're at their reserve center for their drill weekend or whatever, like, it illustrates a little bit of being in the Army Reserve at that time. Like they were living in the.
You wouldn't know. You were still in Pampers.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I fought in the big war.
They were staying in the beat or like in bunks in their actual reserve center. They were not being provided food except for MREs. And I know so many of these three characters or whatever, having been from down south and where a lot of members of the reserve component were still in from that time period or whatever. And there's so many shenanigans that go on, like in the movie they're trap shooting with all of Larry's girlfriend stuff or whatever, because she breaks up with him. He's like, he's got a bathroom scale. He's like, yeah, I got that for her for Valentine's Day. I'm a romantic. So trap shooting all that stuff. And then Sergeant Kilgore, active duty maximum Hooah guy, gets sent down and comes and kind of like breaks him into shape, illustrates a lot of like combat obstacle courses and confidence courses, that sort of thing. And then they get onto a plane, they're going to Iraq or actually on mission, and then they end up getting dumped out into Mexico. So
I want to know what direction this plane was flying in to going to Iraq to drop them in Mexico.
Especially
All of them.
like
And
where it was in Mexico or whatever, like they see a sign saying 500 kilometers from Mexico City. If you draw a 500 kilometer fucking circle around Mexico City, there's nowhere there that they could possibly be going to Iraq. Like, it doesn't exist.
There's no fucking way.
all right, so you get the
gonna take
intro
the
of the
long
movie.
way the
That's
fuck
that's your
around?
favorite part. I know that, and we're
Yeah,
gonna get
for
your
sure.
rating in a little bit, which is very high for this fucking movie. We'll get that in just a second here, but I want to hear some after. Before we get your rating of it, I want to. Your
My-
little
more
bit-
like
just
his
a little
B
bit of
rating.
your take.
My impressions on it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right.
And you know what? Matter of fact, let's just kill it and go to your rating. let's go there. Ready?
Yeah,
1.5.
1.5. All right, so because we had such difficulty getting the movie, finding the movie, and all that shit like that, I'm like, I saw it years ago. I'm going to rate it a 3 because it's a comedy. I don't feel like I could rate it much higher than that. Just on default, because I remember seeing it probably around the time it came out, but
Dude, the
it
fucking-
didn't really stand out as being anything special. Like, I don't remember scenes, I don't remember plot or anything like
Last minute though, like he's like, I didn't see it. Just give me that. No, we'll wing it. And I'm like, no, fucking, it's on this thing. I found it on the streaming site. Watch it. And he comes back like
Did
2
he give
hours
you a
later. He
virus?
goes, take me down from 3 to 1.5.
that. I said I want 90 minutes of my life back.
I understand that it's not for everybody or whatever, and especially like at the rating I gave it. But like I really don't understand your criticism.
I'm gonna
Like,
be honest. It's the way it was filmed it's very dated. The comedy is very dated.
for sure.
DJ Qualls is someone I can only really take in small doses, and by that
Yeah,
I
he was a
mean
little too much, right?
like Road Trip. He was getting Road Trip
Oh yeah, great.
because he was like an addition to everybody else, in
right.
there.
So
And he was very much a fish out of water in that, and he played that role very well.
your rating is what it is, and I'm not gonna try
Yeah.
to sway your opinion or anything. But I want to ask you
Rate
this.
shaming.
You're right.
I am rate shaming for sure. Like with the DJ Qualls, do you not know a soldier or a Marine that has that mentality? Like, you're just super fucking gung ho.
Oh,
Another
we
asshole
know
on
one
the
that's
ground.
going to West Point soon.
Yeah, we really did.
I'm going
Exactly.
to West Point.
No, I do. The other thing though too is like even
I hope he's watching too.
Yeah.
See a viewer.
God damn it, OG.
You were one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm going to kill you.
even then though, casting him I also think is like kind of like a big mistake too, because he's clearly underweight for the military.
he's on the Get Fat program.
So is this,
Triple rations.
but so is this West Pointer, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
he is a scrawny little guy.
That kid fucking eats though too. Another one, yeah.
But every time we go to lunch and we always have leftovers,
We bring it to him.
Yeah, we just bring
Just here, fucking eat, kid.
fucking human trash.
Yeah, but I mean like, yeah, it was. I just didn't find it as
It didn't resonate with
Here,
no,
yeah.
and I didn't even find it really as funny as I probably did back then.
All right.
Yeah.
And so
Maybe that's the difference between our age, man. Like, I don't know.
Well, all right, yeah,
Maybe.
that's the thing.
I don't know.
We're old men. I gave it a 2. Actually, I was about to give it 2.5. It started at 1.5 for me. The beginning though, even though I agreed with you what you're saying, like the whole reserve mentality thing, like I liked it, but
Yeah.
it was just DJ Qualls killed it for me a lot. Like I understood Larry the Cable Guy at the time. I love Bill Engvall. Like I thought his character was
He
one
had
of my
some of the
favorites.
best lines
He did.
outside of Keith David.
I just love like him like going out like I gotta call my wife and he fucks up the whole thing. It's like I love and actually so what happened was like throughout the movie it actually the beginning part where you say was like to you was the great part.
Yeah.
To me it was like the most annoying part because the comedy I thought was kind of shit there, but the end of the movie was like starting to build and like I started getting into the characters and enjoying actually what was happening towards the end, even though it was getting really fucking stupid. I did enjoy like Keith David's, Sergeant Kilgore's Kilgore. Sorry, whatever.
The Big Bird.
The Big Bird. Big Bird. Big Bird. Motherfuckers. Like that part when he like walks in like after like being like raped by the fucking dudes. He's wearing a dress coming out. That part was funny as shit. Like coming out of it, drinking the piss, drinking the dip stuff. Like that stuff was hilarious. And then showing up like during the Mexican standoff, or as they go, we just go to the standoff down here. Like, that
And
kind of comedy.
he just grabs the fucking rifle out of his hand.
Yeah, like they got him and he's like, hey.
He's got all these guns pointed at his back.
He's
grabs
dealing
the
with his Joes and doesn't realize there's all these guys pointing. Like that comedy, I was like, oh, like I like that kind of shit. I did enjoy like later on with it. Even actually DJ Qual's scene where like the wrestling scene where he's like started kicking ass. Like, he's like he shines. I was like, okay, I gave him that too. It was good. Like there are these moments in this movie that like towards the end I was like, okay, there was some funny shit. What I did enjoy but at the same time I was kind of annoyed, but they copied Stripes at the very end, like they did like the whole where they're at in the screenshot of them. But I like that they kind of like gave a nod off to Stripes. I like that part. Yeah. But literally I probably maybe push it up 2.5 for me. It's not my typical. I love stupid fucking movies. I love comedies. It just wasn't the one that resonated with me with it.
I feel like Larry the Cable Guy and Bill Engvall are good comedians.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As stand-up comedians.
Yes.
I do not think movies and
he actually
shows
did
are necessarily a medium.
Bill Engvall even did a television series or whatever. I think it was called Country Fried Home Videos or something like that, or whatever. It's like a knockoff of America's Funniest Home Videos. And it was actually really good. Like he had some great lines on that too. Like,
I thought Bill was actually pretty good as an actor in this. Like he did a good. Like I liked his role.
I thought he was better than Larry, to be honest with you.
Well, Larry also steps up as his character progresses, and that he's getting the hot ass chick. God, what the fuck is Larry getting like all these hotties? And by the way, like
that's like a common. It's a common theme in all of his movies, I guess. Like there's always
it's like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
The only movie you ever see the guy settling down with the fat chick was Shallow Hal. Let's be real about that.
Jack Black. Yeah. All right, PD, what did you give? You give you stepping up 3 for PD.
3 only because it's like a war movie. No,
it's your catcher. Are you going to say it's your catcher in the rye?
No, it's just kind of like kid appropriate.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't have to do a lot of explaining. Like,
you watch a lot of these with your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do not do that at all.
Yeah,
expose them young.
Right. I'm trying to get my fucking recruiting ribbon.
Gotta stay in for like 10 more years.
That's 30 points right there. The fucking remember you get your fucking extra your V for it. Your fucking,
I'll make E8 soon.
Fucking PD gets all of his from all of his
okay,
fucking all of his crotch
I know
goblins.
PD where he's going in and like remarks complete. I'm guessing on it. All right.
It's just
keep it up. I'll keep it up. Keep it up.
okay. It was okay.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's just like brain dead comedy, like which is fine because I can appreciate that too. But it was just like, all right, it's kind of like, the kids could watch. I don't have to explain a lot of things. It's like any of the really good fucking war movies, like especially my oldest, he gets like very technical.
Oh,
and it's
good.
like, oh Jesus, like
Well,
yes, I want
good,
to explain all that shit, but it's like at the same time too, like watch the fucking movie
because you're like, fuck it, I know it. Like,
right,
I don't want to be a dad right now.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest.
Sign up and you'll live it too. You'll understand.
I'm just gonna say it's a subpar Army Reserve movie. In the Army now, way better.
All right.
But the other thing too is like the other funny thing that I noticed is like just like Range 15, Keith David always gets like these shitty like kind of like Sergeant NCO type roles.
Because he's
Also,
that
yeah.
He's
voice,
got the voice
man.
for it,
It's
yeah.
the
Yeah, he
voice.
Right.
Motherfuckers. I mean, something about Mary, man. I love
Fuck
him in
my
that.
daughter.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with you.
First of all, the man is hilarious.
Yes, I do like him a lot, man.
Any video game he does a voice for, awesome.
What show was he on?
I
I feel like he was on a show.
Rick
back
and
in the
Morty.
day. No, like back in the day. I thought he was on a show or some shit. Either way. All right. You, Schmitty.
Yeah, controversially.
Bam. Schmitty gave it 4 out of 5. There it is. Them damn rednecks.
I love this.
You like that?
Yeah. So
I actually was struggling trying to figure out a graphic.
Some
for you.
hoes.
Some Hooahs. Bunch of Hooahs.
You didn't want to put a bunch of Confederate flags on.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't.
Your Mississippi flag still has it on there, right?
No, it does not actually.
No.
It's
They
got
got rid
a
of it?
magnolia in the center of it.
I think was that Alabama?
I think Georgia.
Alabama is just a white flag with a red X on.
What? Yeah. Okay.
I think Georgia is the one you're thinking of.
Sorry, I bumped into your fucking massive brace here.
brace here.
Yeah. It's so big and girthy.
So yeah, it's a little bit controversial in the room, I guess. But I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I want to look at it in a vacuum, like in the genre that it's in. Like,
You're entitled to your own opinion.
and that's fine.
That's funny. I wanted to look at it in a vacuum too, with all the air getting sucked out.
Welcome to America.
What a guy.
Fuck yeah! Yeah, exactly.
But like, I really, really love just retard comedy, if you will.
Yeah. And you know what? You can say retard on this show because we're pro retard around here, right?
That's right. But all of
Pre-2000s.
we talked about it a little bit this morning as well. Like all of my favorite movies get really, really crappy ratings anyway, so it doesn't really hurt my feelings. But like every Will Ferrell movie except for Sherlock Holmes, pretty much.
I kind of like that. Well, there's a couple lines I like.
There were
that
a few good lines, but
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, it was
not
a
enough
shit
to
movie.
make a movie.
all
good.
of the like 90s and early 2000s Adam Sandler movies are just freaking hysterical to me. Like
Yeah.
I really like resonate with this genre, and as well like
fucking
I want
old school.
I want to give these dudes the respect that they deserve, because they like all of the blue collar guys went on like massive MWR tours or whatever, and they spent a lot of time in the Middle East. They were like trying to do what they could to support the troops in a really dark places.
Yeah,
especially during that time.
And
frame.
they do shout outs in this movie, like in the credits and beforehand, like
Yeah.
to the real people that do
For sure.
shit. You know, they made it quite clear it's obvious. And obviously, you know, like I didn't get pissed off watching this. It's first of all reservist, and I went, it's more '90s reservist than it was early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know?
But like a lot of military movies are kind of more serious, as you would expect. Obviously not the vibe here, and satirical it may be, but it also is a legitimate reflection of some of the human nature of the reservists. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so
it really is though.
So
I'll give it that. And
so like that's what got it so high for me personally. So.
no, I mean, hey, you know what? You liked it, you owned it. It's your shit, and you stuck with it through us giving you shit about it. It's hey, it wasn't Pearl Harbor
Or Purple Hearts.
God, that. Yeah, no, thank you. Actually, this was a lot better than Purple Hearts. Fucking.
I forget what my rating was. for that movie.
Hunter. I think you gave it a half.
Yeah, I
think
gave
it was a half.
pretty low.
the lowest.
I also wanted that time back too.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Did you at least laugh during this?
I did.
A couple parts.
I did.
Okay,
Mostly
I
Keith,
Did
Keith
you,
David.
Did you laugh during Purple Hearts?
Not at
Nah,
all.
once.
Okay,
exactly.
and I will take that. as
No,
a-
I did. I did have a lot. I did have laughs out of this too.
Purple
myself.
Hearts helped me get laid though.
Yeah.
I bet it did. Purple Hearts made my dick pretty much.
Would you rather be laid or
non-existent.
laugh? You know what I mean? So like, it's
Why
pretty
not both?
Yeah. Why not both?
I'll be honest. I get both done. All right, at the same time.
It's so small. All right. We're in the smoke bit, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Want to talk tactical, but no one will listen? Do you need to talk to someone who will listen closely to your needs and desires? Call Tac Talk, where real-life operators are standing by, waiting to receive your transmission right now. Talk about your deepest secrets. Top secrets.
Yeah, I don't even actually own a 300 Blackout.
Come closer. Closer. Operators like me want to talk tactical to you, one-on-one, right now.
You have something you want to get off your chest? Go ahead, raise us on comms. You know you want to talk.
Operators are standing by.
$3.99 per minute.
Who knows? Maybe we can work out.
All right, here we are in the smoke bit
See,
with Schmitty. How's it going?
doing good, man.
Having fun so far?
Yeah, appreciate the
All
invite.
right. We're gonna some Q&A with you, bud. You've been in the Army for a minute.
Yeah, about 8 years almost. Yeah,
All
It'll be
right.
8 years in November.
So we'll do some basic questions and see where they spiral off to, and I think they will. All right, we're gonna start with one of them here. It's the one we always do for everybody. First of all, before you got in the Army, what were we doing in life?
racing squirrels.
Yeah, so before I joined the Army, I graduated from high school, and after I graduated, I worked a couple of dead end jobs. Like I went to junior college first or whatever, and then decided that really wasn't my thing. So I started working as a maintenance technician for U-Haul, and it was in their maintenance shop doing oil changes and bearing changes or bearing packing and brake pads and drive shafts and U-joints and all that kind of stuff for them or whatever. Just literally just the maintenance stuff, not transmission rebuilds and stuff like that.
Do you use 100% American-made Callahan auto parts?
No, actually, we
the
did not.
auto parts king.
Yeah. I can talk. If you want me to take a shit in a box and slap a guarantee on it, I will.
Thank you. You're young, but you get it. All right.
Well, all I'm selling you is a guaranteed piece of shit. Anyway, so did that and ended up leaving there because I was moonlighting while I was full time there as a guy hawking parts at the Advanced Auto Parts, and I got a promotion, made a little bit more money there to be a full time guy, shift manager, shift lead kind of thing, doing opening store, closing stores, whatever. So I had a couple of dead end jobs, like I say, and then worked for a summer camp with some doing some ministry stuff with some kids or whatever. And after that, I ended up joining the Army or whatever because...
Well, yeah, before that, how old were you before you
So I joined whenever I was 19. I didn't ship until I was 20, and then was literally turning 21 as I graduated from AIT.
Can I just make a comment? You made the wrong choice. You should have stayed in ministry and opened one of those super churches and stuff like that and gotten your fucking private jet. And
Yeah. And it was never about that part of my life was never about the money or anything. It's something I'm pretty passionate about or whatever. I really like to, it sounds a little creepy the way that I was about to say it actually, so I'm going to take a beat. I really like to, pour into young people especially or whatever. And try to,
had to go that route, didn't you? You did add the ministry stuff, so that doesn't make it any better.
Sheesh. No, I try to do the same thing today or whatever. We have somebody that's a little bit challenged at our unit or whatever, and me and this supply.
You pouring into him?
I do pouring into him.
I come on you come on the floor.
I don't know a better way to say it, man.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I get it. But yes, you brought it up. So
I really enjoy spending time mentoring. I guess is a better way to say it. Stuff like that, or
much
whatever.
better.
which I gotta say, fucking Schmitty came out on my little detail at my kid's school for Veterans Day, right? We brought out a couple of trucks. I had a couple of things, and this guy was like a pig in shit, literally just lifting all the kids into trucks and explaining it. He shined in that moment. So.
Yeah, it's not,
which I appreciate.
To catch a service member. All right.
How dare you? That's something I'm legitimately
he was especially fond of the K through 4 kids.
How dare you? So
he's like, God damn it.
After that season or whatever, I kind of fell out of grace, so to speak, and was still doing dead end stuff or whatever. I was working for Tractor Supply Company at the time. And fooling around with this girl that ended up getting pregnant, right? And so she said that, this kid's mine. And we go through a whole, it was the most, painful time of my life, legitimately, because this bitch was so fucking hard to work with about literally anything. And I was trying. Well, I was trying to give her some, provide, give some money or whatever and, go to appointments and all that kind of stuff. And it just didn't really work out. And she was just being a massive asshole to the point where I had to literally, get legal counsel. And we had to go to court just for her to, do the paternity test after the fact.
God.
So,
and Maury says you are
not the father.
All right. There it is.
Planned for that one.
Well, I've always have it on the board.
But
you never know.
Just
as military. How many times that?
Just for an opportunity for you to roast me, you want to guess who was the father?
Yeah, I know, but these boys don't. So,
Petey,
go for it.
My younger brother.
So
you were
she's your in-law now?
Kinda. Well, they're not married, but
but
so
fucked up, dude. That's so fucked up.
They were stupid to see girl.
Honestly, that's one of those things where I would be I wouldn't be upset because I'd be like, ha ha ha, fuck you.
Well, the DNA test company or whatever, they call me, right? And I think it's 13.
Oh, that DNS it's 23andMe, but yeah, all right, go on.
This was a legit court order placement. It's a legitimate business.
Okay.
So I think they checked.
Did you know that both of you were going to get tested? So you
that
both
was-
show up at the clinic at the same time.
Why didn't you
No,
say
so-
it was your little brother's baby?
It's a long story. We're not gonna get into it, but
Fair enough.
More bottom line up front. He is not in the same place that I am,
Yeah.
even at the time.
That-
So that's actually not how I found out. I found out because the genetic testing place or whatever, they called me, and I think they look at like 13 markers or something, 16, whatever it is, and it checks like all the alleles and all that stuff or whatever. And they called me and they're like, "Yeah, do you have like a first cousin or a brother?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?"
Yeah.
Like, because
I have both.
This apple did not fall from the tree.
so like they're like, "Yeah, you're related to this person, but this person ain't you, dog." And I was like, "Well, I have a first cousin that's a male, but he was like 4 or 5 years old at the time." So it's like that cuts it down pretty much on it.
I don't know,
I
Mississippi,
don't know. She
right?
could have been a bit of a, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah. So, then they had their whole deal after that or whatever. But like during that time frame, like whenever I was trying to get, I was trying to say like, well, what am I going to do to be able to provide for this kid or whatever, like to do anything.
Pawn it off on your brother.
It's funny that you say that, but so I'm like, I really don't think that like I'm going to do anything here. So like I got to go figure something out. And then so originally.
You joined the army to run away from your problems.
I wasn't
Amen,
running away from my
sister.
problem. Like I was trying to like legitimately do the right thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went to see a Marine Corps recruiter first, believe it or not.
Good man.
And they told me to go fuck off because so at the time, I think the tattoo policy for them has changed then since.
Yeah, because they're having trouble keeping people in. Wonder fucking why.
He had a ponytail and he snapped it on my wrist. So like the line where this bone is, people that are watching the video, if your tattoos are below that line,
I can actually show you.
You cannot have that, or you cannot be in the service in the Marine Corps with that. And so I went to the Air Force after that, and they were like, "Hey, guy, get fucked. You can't have that." And I had like a pretty decent ASVAB score, so I was like, "Why am I getting turned away? This is stupid." And then the Army guy was like, "Yeah, man, we don't give a fuck." Like,
Yeah, in all fairness, I'm pretty sure the Marine Corps changed their tattoo policy back to kind of what it originally was, but they still they don't want it to really go too low because like if you're wearing like your long sleeves, they don't want it to show underneath.
yeah, and if you're a Marine Corps recruiter, like I learned this at a like a JROTC, like a high school ROTC event that I had to go and like help grade or whatever. He was in blues. Like I guess it's like the downgraded. He's in like what we call a Class B, like the short sleeve shirt. And,
Yeah, that's our Charlie's.
Yep. So he was like, "Yeah, you cannot wear camis at all if you're in recruiting, and you cannot have tattoos on your arms below the sleeve."
They changed that because like during the war they were pretty flexible about that, and you wore camis and stuff because it was right when Digis came out, so they're like, "Hey, look at our shit,"
Yeah.
But
So-
they went back to like what the old recruiting policy was, which also that was one of the reasons why I started getting inked up on my forearms and shit. So I didn't have to do any of that shit.
So I enlisted, and the rest is history, kind of from there or whatever. I could have gotten out by this point or whatever, and it's just like it's been really, really good to me so far, and I'm not necessarily going to be doing what I'm doing right now, but I can't imagine doing something else.
All right, so where'd you go to basic? Let's start there too a little bit after that whole fucking crazy debacle.
Yeah,
the Maury session
with the king of battle at Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Oh, station there. I went to basic there, AIT there, all that shit.
It was a pretty interesting experience or whatever. Knowing me as a person or whatever, you may be like, "Oh yeah, that fucking guy," but I did really, really well. It's pretty fucking easy for those of you that are thinking about it or whatever. Like
He wants his recruiting ribbon.
No, I'm being serious. Like you read the fucking blue book, you know the Soldier's Creed, you know the Army song, and then you just like you literally just do what the drill sergeant says. Yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant, and it's literally that
It's
easy.
easy.
It's super easy.
That's pretty much everything in the military. Just do what they fucking tell you when they tell you to do it, and you'll be relatively okay. You might not survive, but you might be relatively okay.
Yeah.
Got my first coin and COA there for being the super nerd of my platoon and getting honor grad. So it's pretty cool. Fort Sill as a whole, I was there from early March to May. And
what year?
2016.
Wow, still a newbie.
So I enlisted in November 2015, and then was delayed entry for that time. Like
when I say newbie, it's like to me, it's like it's still 8 years, right?
I've been out of the military for 8 years.
Yeah, no, it's
point.
just like to me after 20 something years, you're like Jesus. When you hear anything
in the 2010s.
Yeah, it's like when you're like, oh, you're baby. But
War's over.
War's over, Ollie. All right. So why'd you go the Intel route though? I want to hear about this.
I originally wasn't going to actually. So I walked in or whatever. Had to retake the ASVAB for some reason. My original score, I had a pretty good score or whatever, and I didn't do any better the second time. But he was like, yeah, we can't accept that or some shit because it was from a different service branch or whatever. It was kind of weird. Anyway, so I chose 15 Quebec originally, just air traffic control, and was just like, I want to do something where I can make a little bit of money whenever I get out. And like being air traffic control, like
that's
even down south, you make a lot of money.
Walking into a 6-figure job no matter where you're at.
Yeah, for sure.
It's also like super stressful. That job is fucking
that's why
insane,
it's 6
right?
fucking figures.
Yeah,
and it's actually one of the highest suicide rate jobs on the planet.
Besides dentist.
So, and I think that was pretty well illustrated in the that portion of Breaking Bad, actually, like where the guy just spiraled out of fucking control because of his life stuff or whatever, and then
it was all Walter's fault, man. Let's be real about it. He could have saved that poor girl's life. Spoilers.
So, anyway, I went to MEPS, and at this point, I had already I said earlier that the recruiter didn't care about my tattoos. It was kind of true, kind of not true. I had to get a waiver for the tattoos. And so that was done before I even went to MEPS or whatever, because we know that you're going to get turned down. We're going to do the waiver before you go or whatever. So I went up to MEPS, was going to do my reservation, and then I wear glasses, wearing contacts today, but wear glasses, and they tested them, and they were like, nope.
You're fucking fired.
So the requirement for 15 Quebec is that your vision is corrected to 20/20, or that you have 20/20, and I do.
For an air traffic controller?
Yeah.
You got to see those
screens.
screens.
You got to be able to see that shit, right?
So
out the window.
You can't wear glasses to do that?
Yeah, you can. It can be corrected to 20/20.
Oh, okay.
But it has to be 20/20 corrected. So my vision is 20/20 corrected, but because of the special astigmatism, or there's two different types of astigmatism or some shit. I don't fucking know, man. But I had to go get tested by an ophthalmologist, which is an eye surgeon for those of you that don't know, to make sure that I didn't have the bad, super bad astigmatism.
So I mean, because I remember seeing Hot Shots, they put what's his nuts in chart radiator with
walleye. Yeah.
So I got kicked back, and then had to go back again the second time. My recruiter was a counterintelligence agent, and so he was kind of like a driving force, I guess. After I got kicked back for air traffic control, he's like, yeah, man, that job's not available anymore right now. And I didn't have anybody to guide me through this. I didn't know how to work the system, you know what I mean?
No, and they don't care if you know how to work the system. They're just trying to fill boat spaces.
So he's like, yeah, if you want to go do some cool stuff or whatever, I have this airborne contract, and it's for an interrogator. So I went to MEPS a second time. For this airborne...
Did you have to show your asshole both times?
Yeah. It was the whole bit, man.
Same guy?
Turn your head and cough. So I went and was going to be a airborne intelligence agent, basically. Interrogator, human intelligence gatherer.
Airborne Okay, go on. Sounds made up.
Does that mean you jump into combat in a 3-piece suit?
Yeah, we don't do airborne combat jumps anymore. It's another thing. So I don't know why it's just the heritage of it, I guess. But anyway, so
go on.
This guy kicks me back the second time because I broke my leg in high school, and whenever I broke my leg, they didn't do any surgery or put any screws in or anything. I just healed like bones do. But they had to get all the documentation basically to prove that, and then I had to get a third waiver to join. So I was in this shit, you know what I mean? You say I was trying to run from my problems or whatever, Pete, as a joke. I was actually fucking I was in this shit.
Problem was recruiting.
Yeah, I mean that sounds fucking crazy, dude. Holy shit. Just all that just to go to basic, and then get to Intel route. All right, so let's get to the Intel route. Yeah,
all this stuff is so that was an Intel thing.
Yeah, let's figure out. Yeah,
and then so ultimately, at this point, I'd found out that kid wasn't mine or whatever. I still wanted to join. I felt at this point I've come this far, might as well keep going.
I was still running patriotism into you.
So I chose to go into the reserves, and the only Intel job they had in the reserves or whatever. At that point, he had kind of sold me on the fucking whole Intel thing. He was like, yeah, we're good. I get to go to work every day whenever I'm actually in the real army, wearing a suit and a badge, and they call me special agent. They don't even call me sergeant. So I was like, I'm here, dude. So
yeah, sign me up, right?
So
honestly, that's a lot of potential when you get out too.
Yeah, right.
So I don't do counterintelligence stuff or whatever. Like my official MOS is all source intelligence. But that's kind of how I ended up there or whatever. So like I started off wanting to do some aviation stuff or whatever, and basically I got told to go kick rocks, and then wanted to be a linguist and interrogator, and then got told to go kick rocks again. And at that point, my life had completely changed. Like every circumstance that I was planning for wasn't even there anymore. So it's like I'm just going to join the reserves and go do this thing, and then try to figure something out after that.
FBI.
I mean, okay. Interesting start. You got, wow, that's a lot going on just before we're getting up to
Yeah, we haven't even been to basic training
Yeah,
yet.
and I'm like, holy shit. It's like you get through that, you get through basic. You went the intel route. That's why you chose it. That's how it ended up being there. Fucking nuts. Still wish you're from Alabama instead of Mississippi, because we could do more Forrest Gump shit. I love who said that? I was running.
I was running.
Jenny. Anyway, all right. Let's get into
that.
Had
a whole fleet of Jennies.
So you get you get through all that, right? You're in. You go to basic. You go to obviously Wichuca for
AIT. Yep.
AIT. Everyone knows. I'm never gonna beat that one down.
Yep.
All right, but you're on the reserve side, TPU. All right. Like before you went active side, like what'd you do in the reserve side? Like first of all, not just missions, ADOS, places you've been, but units. You've been like kind of all over the fucking place, right?
Yeah. So this is not a joke. This is the most serious thing that I could possibly tell you. For the whole training pipeline for a intel analyst is about 28 weeks. So you're just like 6.5 months or whatever.
It's a long time.
So I had missed that many drills, and so I left in May or in early March. I'm sorry. Got back to home station in mid-September, and I was able to RST reschedule training for all those drills that I had missed. Like while I was in the training pipeline. And I'm in the 412th Tech G2 at this time, and you see, like, you're at the general officer level. Like, money's not an object. Like, you want to do something, bro?
Yeah.
Do you? So my NCOIC at the time was like, hey man, you want to go to Korea for a year? And I was like,
fuck yeah,
yeah, man. Why not?
Soju. I love soju.
So,
kimchi, fucking delicious.
So he puts me on ADOS to go support a active component signal battalion, and the quid pro quo here is we're going to provide you, the reserve component's going to provide you with an intelligence soldier for your S2 section at this battalion. In return, you were going to provide us some signal corps support because we have an asset on the peninsula that we need to maintain. And historically, like, it's no longer called Ulchi Freedom Guardian and Key Resolve anymore. It's now Pacific Century, I think's the name of the exercise.
Was this asset possibly going across the border?
This asset was not, in fact, going across the border.
Okay.
So...
And if it was, he wouldn't be able to tell you.
Weak.
So this signal battalion like kept all of our systems online or whatever because, as you know, commo nerd, that if you don't log in and all that kind of stuff or whatever, like your stuff falls off. So I go over there and was virtually unsupervised. So there was this memorandum of understanding between the two units describing the stuff that I just described, but it also said this soldier will not be tasked for any additional duties. Like, I'm not doing area beautification. I'm not doing RAM details. I'm not doing all this, other fucking bullshit. Like,
what rank were you at this time?
I was a private first class at this time.
Oh, okay.
And this is a general officer signing a memorandum to a lieutenant colonel. So it's kind of a big deal. Like, you're gonna fucking listen to what I'm telling you, dude.
So just curious on that. Right.
So I was virtually unsupervised because I didn't have anybody that was actually in my chain of command, and because I was on ADOS but still belonged to my other unit, like I wasn't actually like OpCon to them.
And ADOS, by the way, is active duty operational support for those that don't know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, who doesn't know that?
So was pretty much unsupervised because I didn't have anybody that could actually do anything to me administratively. Like, they could be like, oh god, beat your face or whatever, but they couldn't like give me an Article 15. They couldn't do anything. Like, I was just there with them. They didn't know what to do with me. I wore my reserve patch. I didn't wear their patch, stuff like that. So I had a section sergeant. It was a staff sergeant from the S3, and I literally never saw that motherfucker. Like,
perfect.
So I had
probably looking at the golden opportunity. I could skate out all this shit.
I had a fucking blast while I was there, man. Like, it was so much fun. And real quick, I don't want to go off on a little tangent or whatever about my time there, man. It was so much fun. There was this bar outside, like right outside.
Yeah, bars. Go.
And so this bar is called the King's Club. And the woman that owned this place had a knick-knack shop on one side, and then she and her husband ran the bar at night or whatever. So, like, You would always catch them, especially like they would be closed in the morning, but like the knick-knack shop was open in the afternoon hours. So whenever we were leaving work or whatever, we'd go back, change, and then she would exchange U.S. dollars for won and wouldn't charge us the exchange rate or anything like that.
Nice.
So like, it was just like, you know, here you
That
go.
was a money laundering operation.
Well, she accepted USD in the bar and in her knick-knack shop as well.
And she took the money too, huh?
I bet she liked the USD.
The USD.
Yeah, damn man.
So
I love how it took all of you just a little bit longer.
So we would always swing by there, and she was like our big advocate. She was a little bit older lady, but her parents were alive for the war or whatever, and knew what the U.S. government or U.S. military had done to like liberate them, especially on that part of the peninsula. Because like if you look at the map, whenever we actually got involved, like North Korea had taken a significant portion of the peninsula or whatever. So like where she lived was part of the red zone at that point. Like it was or where her parents lived rather.
So
we
you didn't knock her up though, right? Okay.
I did not knock her up.
Your little brother didn't either.
Yeah,
so we go downtown this one day.
Just checking. You know.
We go downtown to this place called the Golden Moon. And the Golden Moon was special because men got to drink for free, or for 11,000 won, and women got to drink for free. I'm sorry. So 11,000 Korean won is like $10 US ish. So for $10,
is that place still open?
It is not still open. I went there in 2021
How
as
is that a
recon
sustainable business model?
because like people would just get belligerent and paying these juicy girls and bartenders or whatever to keep hanging with them all night.
Oh, it was a buy me, drink me bar. Okay, got it.
Well, sort of, kind of, not really. But the idea is like you get like, first of all, juicy girls are a problem on the whole peninsula. Like, and they tell you like if you fucking mess with these women, like we're gonna strangle you basically.
Tell me more about juicy girls.
So juicy girls, in my experience, were all Russian and Thai women that were there, like just to sit beside you to be like, hey, me so horny, like rubbing on your shoulder, kind of like get you to spend more money, kind of thing.
Love it.
So, and they weren't escorts, they weren't prostitutes or whatever. They were literally just there to fluff you up and keep you spending money, basically.
It's like that all over Asia.
Yeah. So, so we always pregame there, right? So you go there, you get fucking sloshed, and then you go downtown, you play pool, you go to the dance clubs, you do whatever you're gonna do that night, right? So we were on the way back.
K-pop.
We're on the way back, and we always stop by there. But so while a lot of people get hemmed up in Korea, like this is kind of like darting all over the place, but it's all part of the story. You got to lead up to. While a lot of people get hemmed up is because they break curfew. It's like the most, like it's a really common saying, like what's the fastest way to make E5 in Korea? Go there's an E6. So a lot of people break curfew, get field grades, and then they get bumped down or whatever. So
honestly, that's true with a lot of guys on the Mew too.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a foreign country, like you're told specifically you have to be back in your hotel by midnight.
Well, so for them, it's back on the installation by midnight, and then
so you see everybody running to the gate at 11:59.
Yeah, exactly. and then you're back in your hotel or into your barracks room at 01. So the E7 and above, everybody had to be on what's called courtesy patrol, and they were on a rotation just like CQ or whatever. And they go downtown, they're like, "Hey, dipshit, it's 11:20. You need to get going, guy."
Yep, we had that on the Mew too.
Yeah.
So
you're like begging the fucking gate car, like right at it, like
I'll cradle the balls, work the pipe, swallow.
So over there they have
Get it over here,
DBIDs,
buddy.
and I
Let's
don't
do it.
remember what that acronym stands for, but like if you have to scan your ID, and if your ID gets scanned and it's after midnight, like it
done.
pops
Yeah.
automatically.
Even
So
if it's like 12:01.
yeah, if it is after midnight,
Yeah.
it's over with.
same shit in Germany was like that too. Like they were really crazy about that crap.
So we're on the way back, and like I said, this place is right outside Gate 4 at the base or whatever, which is the one that's closest to my barracks building. And when I say it's right outside, I mean like it's closer than I am to my car right now, like at that distance. So we get back in there, and I don't know why, but first of all, they don't have limes in the bars over there, and Miss Jew loved fucking Jose Cuervo Gold for some reason that I cannot explain to you.
I can tell you why they don't have limes.
Why?
Because they're extremely expensive for them to import.
Well, okay.
Australia was the same way.
Right on. So the more you know.
Yeah.
Fuck off. So whenever you're over there, they give you the salt, but they give you a fucking lemon wedge instead of a lime wedge to shoot tequila with. It's so gross.
And that sucks because like a lot of lemons have fucking seeds in them too.
Yeah, I know.
You're like
So
sucking that shit out.
So she loved Jose Cuervo Gold, and if she offered, like I said, she loved Americans. Like, this is a long-winded story or whatever. But like, I'm already 4 shits in the wind because I've been out downtown drinking all day. We get back there. She loved tequila shots, and if she asked you, like, hey man, you want to do a tequila shot? She didn't put it on your tab. So like, she's drinking or she's doing shots with you, and me and my group were, you know, shooting pool or throwing darts or whatever the fuck we were doing. She comes around, she's like, hey man, tequila shots, and I'm like, no, not tonight. And she's like,
No mas.
all right, check it out, guy. You a pussy? And this is, I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to be vulgar or whatever. This is a fucking 5'1" Korean woman that weighs 120 pounds calling me a fucking pussy.
You
and
pussy?
And at this point,
Hey,
like,
Joe. Hey,
I'm
Joe.
I'm in the best shape of my life at this point in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, what the
That would have
fuck?
been all over for me. I would have been blackout drunk in 30 minutes.
That's where this is going. So she's like, I was like, fuck it. So we go through that exact same vicious cycle 4 times. So she comes by, and I'm like, I really don't need to be doing this, man. And then so she's like, oh, you still pussy.
Oh, hey.
It's always those little Asian women that know how to like take the screws to you.
Yeah, like these
So,
fucking stabbing you really
I
deep.
I
right?
think I took the screws to them that night or whatever because I ended up puking all over the men's bathroom.
Good job.
Like all over it. Like projectile vomiting.
Sounds like that bar in Hawaii.
So I come out of this place, and there was a Captain America shield above the register with a as it was attached to the bell. And if you ring the bell, you buy the whole bar of shot, right? So I was like, if I'm suffering, every one of you motherfuckers is doing it with me. So it goes, dang! Bye. Everybody gets a tequila shot. And at that point, I don't remember anything else. I know that I made it back on post before curfew because the like administrative actions never came or whatever. But the next thing I remember, I was passed out on the grass in front of the MWR building, and my sergeant major, my CSM there, was on courtesy patrol that night.
And
So-
all I say is, get off the goddamn grass.
It's like I'm,
General's line.
I'm passed out in the grass, man, and he pulls his car over. He's like, Schmidt, what the fuck? And I was like,
Oh, everything hurts.
he comes over, like slaps me awake, gets me to his car, and then like, sorry, man,
Dude,
throws
dude,
me into the
hitting buttons here. All right, go on.
throws me into the barracks room or whatever. And that was the only time that I ever, you know, got
Disappointed your sergeant major.
I got that bad, man, and I learned a lesson about the streets of Korea. It's like you need to not listen to 5'1" Korean women.
Crazy.
It was awful. It's my favorite Korea memory, actually.
You good time, Korea. You did a few different, like, you've been around, like, TPU units, reserve units all over the place, right? You've been, how many units you been in? You don't have to name them all, but just what, 4 or 5?
4 or 5, I think, yeah.
5, all right. That. And then you decide to go the active side, the AGR side, right? Like, you're still the best way to go active is the active guard reserve way. Because I still remember, like, the active boys in Germany, they're like, dude, man, we want to get that AGR position. I'm like, yeah, because that's the chillest shit ever. So why go AGR? Let's get into that really quick.
So after I got back from Korea, I was actually a DA civilian, and just Department of the Army for those that didn't gather that.
Thank you for dumbing it down for everyone in the room and our listeners.
For sure. And I had made, like, I wasn't like doing bad financially speaking or whatever, but I was looking at some numbers or whatever, and I was a E5 at the time, and I was going to make a whole lot more money net because of TRICARE.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So I was spending about $1,000 a month for the Blue Cross that I had for myself, my wife, and my child. Excuse me, and that was like federally sponsored. So I was like, I can put that $1,000 a month in my pocket if the only change I make is going to the AGR program. So that's kind of what was like the driving thing or whatever. I wanted to be able to, like, you know, set myself up a little bit better.
So you're already serving anyway, and you're doing that. So it's not like it's just you want like some better bennies.
Yeah.
But you're still serving as a TPU soldier at the time. You're doing the DA civilian thing. Like you're working for the gov.
Yeah.
Government's fucking you over. Yeah, and as a DA civilian, you can't get TRICARE.
That's correct.
As a TRICARE reserve, which fucking sucks. Like we know a lot of Joes. Like J-Bot's one of those guys as well too. Like he can't fucking jump in on the TRICARE reserve thing, even though he's a reservist, because he's got that federal job that's fucking him with it, and you have to get part of that crap.
I've heard some rumors that legislation or that like that's going to change or whatever. I always
should. I mean, it should never have been put in like that.
Well, you have to think that and a lot of the major plans that were on that like availability to me or whatever, there was some United Healthcare. There was like vast majority was Blue Cross though. So you have to think that there was probably some senator's kid that was like a executive at Blue Cross and was like, hey man, we can fucking extort these people for more money. So,
Dude, I love how Petey's just like.
Yeah, I'm
chilling in the closet.
Chilling.
How come you get the comfortable seat, motherfucker?
He's like all the way down at the bottom of the fucking thing.
He gets the comfortable seat.
So okay, so you did all this.
I'm on a stool.
You
So-
go for it, and like
for the
you've seen-
AGR thing, that was ultimately financial.
So financially, and then you come over to we're your first one, like the unit
Yeah.
you came into. Is like, okay, so that's where
First impressions.
first and
Not great.
go and go.
So,
No, you don't have to name names, but it's just not putting you in the spot.
So
no.
No.
my predecessor is actually a veteran of your podcast, and she and I had a little bit of left seat, right seat, or whatever. It was pretty nice that I got to have that experience. She and I both had some like Intel production background and some security manager background and all that stuff, or whatever. So like we had some similar experiences or whatever, and then.
That would be
So
by the
you
way,
two like
Sergeant-
bearded farmers.
Sergeant Glock there, yeah, our good old
Yeah.
Glockenspiel.
You don't have
Yeah.
to be lonely at farmersonly.com, Petey. But so yeah, most people don't have that luxury, unfortunately, in this program. Like, it's relatively uncommon for you to be able to have that much left seat, right seat, or whatever whenever you replace somebody. So that was really, really cool. I got a little bit of a culture shock coming here because being with the combat engineer world and with the signal corps world and with the MI world or whatever, like nobody really plays the same game that SIOP does. And
Also, snow's a big one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got-
snow. It's so cold up here.
that really hasn't bothered me. But so like I had a couple of confrontations whenever I first got here or whatever. One with
I remember. He came in because he came in all like da 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 da, and I'm like, yo, no, that's not how you did it there back then. I know you're a reserve world, so you should understand reserve. Chill the fuck out. I applaud you that because you did things by the book and it was good.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing your job. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't knock you for that, but I was like, yeah, but we're like in the PSYOP world where we're like, we don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we consider ourselves soft, you know. We're
so
or at least they do. I'm a combo guy. I'm just like, okay, these guys are.
Let me ride the coattails.
Yeah. Of course I'm gonna write the code. I'm in a fucking special operations unit, as they want to be called. You know.
So yeah, like I had a little bit of a rough go at it or whatever, and then I got a whole bunch of life stuff going on last year. Like my grandfather passed away. Like my report date was in February last year, and literally 7 days, one week after my report date, my grandfather passed away. So like I had to double back, go back home.
I remember that you had to go do this, go back. Your leg fucking started fucking up at that point.
But that was after the
I
fact.
thought that, like,
I
that
had
was
a
like
dog.
it was like a whole trail of like shit was going on for you that
Yeah.
whole year.
Yeah, so like, I had a rough go at it for my first year or whatever. This one's been a little bit better. I've already made the decision or whatever that this is not really like the program is in and of itself is fantastic. I think there's a whole bunch of benefit, but at the same time, like you're kind of just chasing a carrot. Like,
Okay.
it's so you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? And in my opinion, it isn't.
Right. So all right, but that's the next question too. Like doing 20. Are you gonna do the 20 though? Like even TPU finish off, or
I'm probably gonna finish it off TPU. Like I've made the decision. Like I'm already gonna cut the string after this one or whatever.
and more
then-
active, go back to the reserve side
Yeah.
and run it out that way.
And another thing is for the for USERA, the Reserve Employee Relief Act or whatever. You're only allowed 5 years with an employer. Period.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter. Like if it's broken up, it doesn't matter. Like if you go on 5 combat deployments, you can't go on a 6th one, or your employer can fire you. So
kind of fucked up.
They explain that in great detail at the integration training that you have to go to for the AGR program or whatever. So if I don't take this opportunity to go back, like I won't have return rights to my job anymore. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I guess this is going to be the.
Well, I get it. Like AGR is good for some. It's better for others. You see how it is, especially.
I would like to point out, though, with that in mind, it's good for some, not for others, myself included. The 3 people that have occupied the position that I'm currently in, the last 3, have all refratted off the program.
Yeah, exactly. They got out.
All of them quit.
Just
Like,
quit. When was we talked about this offline too. Like we know this as well. Like we have a friend, your predecessor, predecessor. Kenny. Yeah, Kenny Powers. Because before Glock was actually, well, it was in the between part with Kenny was in. I'm trying to remember if it was Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that whole weird thing. But Kenny ends up going from our unit down to a unit down in Mississippi that you were part of, and then you came up and then ended up being up here, and that was that's so crazy. Small world, right? Like how military, even in the Army, it's so big. Sam, we're fucking huge, but yet small connections. Still, it's fucking nuts.
So he was actually my supervisor for like 3 years, man. Like he was my NCIC.
He's fucking great guy, dude.
He's good,
Hilarious. Funnier than you are. You're a good guy, but dude, that guy's funny as shit.
They finally did it. What are you talking about? The world's greatest cup of coffee.
Yeah, dude, I love it picking off the airport. Seeing that shit. They did it. All right. Roll Tide there, Kenny.
You're here for the threesome?
You're from the threesome. Hey, Don, I know you somewhere? Yeah. No, maybe. Yeah, no, yeah. Grinder, right? That's where I know you from.
His favorite saying that I like he and I are both kind of foodies or whatever, and then we'll talk about that a little bit later, I guess. But whenever you like bring food, or if he made something or whatever, and he thought that it was really good, he'd be like, "I tell you what, that shit right there is so good to make a puppy dog pull a freight train."
It's like those like southern fucking random like what the fuck is it? So all right, speaking of that, yeah, food and hobbies. Let's. I know one of yours is food. Like you cook, you smoke shit. You smoke meats, right?
Smoke some meats.
He's a meat smoker. He's like Finker, but like not
disgusting.
Not Finky.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up with him.
If I had the space to do it, I would do that a lot more.
So you guys know Fink's previous supervisor or whatever, old Gucci Gooch. He used to call Fink his meat guy. And then after I got here, I made pulled pork for the office, or a brisket or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly, but so
he pull you in. He's like, "That's my job here."
No. But Gooch is like, "Hey man, Fink used to be my meat guy. Now you're my meat guy." So, like, he was just like shitting on his own soldier after he ate it. Or whatever.
I sampled some of your goodness you brought over. I think it was was it that
you
Thanksgiving?
I think you had some brisket and some pulled pork.
Yeah. I think you brought it for like the Thanksgiving thing we had.
Yeah. And for Glock's going away party.
Yeah, that too. Oh, dude, yeah.
My wife made the cupcakes.
Cupcakes. God damn, dude, your wife knows how to bake. Holy shit. Tammy Sue, take some fucking lessons. God damn.
Everybody raved about those fucking cupcakes, man.
Dude, they were fucking fantastic. I mean, your beef was good too. Like, I mean, I tried it with like without the barbecue sauce because I like to try it like, more drier and that before saucing up.
I prefer, dude. I prefer it without sauce as well.
Yeah, dry. Just fucking go in dry.
What for brisket?
No lube.
Either way,
no lube.
like I won't put barbecue sauce on a pulled pork sandwich or like pulled pork or whatever either.
I do a little bit of sauce. I don't like it to be drowning. Also, I'm very particular about my sauce. I like it to be a little spicier than sweet.
Yeah.
Because
I like sweet.
I like the I want it to have a little bit of a spice, but I also want it to be like vinegar based. Like I really like Texas based barbecue.
You like the acidity.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like growing up, I didn't like ribs, and the reason I didn't like ribs is because my sister would drown them.
In sauce.
In like Casey Masterpiece barbecue sauce. And it's like
light sauce.
Yeah, and it's like it's super sweet, and I just didn't like it.
Ribs are the easiest, but they're probably my least favorite. Like as far as like cooking and eating goes.
I got a butcher. You should check out their ribs.
You could go to a butcher and you could.
The beef ribs though.
No, it has to be your bowl.
But it has to be your bowl. Wait, no. Wait.
You can get a good look at a butcher.
But if you go up, it's got to be your ass.
Your weight.
But beef ribs is like brisket on a stick though. It's fucking amazing.
I know. I have not done beef ribs yet. The closest I've done is like Korean style short ribs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But I did.
Yes, I've had some of your
but I did those. I did those in a 40.
They're pretty hard to come by. Like you don't see. Like you can't just go to fucking Jewel or Sam's and see.
I got a butcher.
I got a butcher. But it's got to be your bowl.
Yeah, it's got to be your bowl. Well, I didn't do the thin ones. I did like the really like the full strip one like that, like about like that.
Yeah.
And I sous vide them for like 48 hours first.
Oh, he loves to sous vide a lot.
Sous vide is not fucking cooking. It's throwing your meat into a boiling pot of water.
You know what? You say that, but when you live in a fucking city like I do, and you can't put a smoker on your deck because it's against city ordinances.
But he sous vides a lot, and it actually turns out pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think it's got its place for sure. We have a sous vide as well, and we get stuffed pork chops occasionally, and they're like that's the only way to cook them.
Also, I mean, I'm working in the bar business. I make a lot of my syrups with a sous vide too because it's just easier and they're more shelf stable. But
so other than smoking meat, I have a 2-year-old at home, so try to kind of try to keep her, entertained or whatever. It's been a wild route or whatever, especially having the knee fucked up. But and then playing golf, man. Play golf.
Oh, golf is that's your. You're a golfer, huh?
That's why you had. That's why you had the kid. You wanted a caddy.
Yeah. I'm wondering the shirt. Like, he's got like the southern look to him. Like, he's like wearing like that. That polo, the breathing polo, the shorts.
Yeah.
I like how you show. By the way, for a southerner to show up here when it's 50 degrees outside in shorts and a fucking short, like where the rest of us are all wearing jackets.
And
like
he
bunch of
showed
pussies.
up early.
I know. Well,
So
I told him to come early.
I'm not a good golfer, but I thoroughly enjoy it. It's probably like this. It's an expensive hobby, nonetheless.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's not the most expensive.
It is not.
This is expensive.
So I duck hunt as well, and I sympathize with this problem as well. So,
the original Nintendo or
no, like actual, it's like
actual foul, huh?
Actually, foul. We have a lot of corn and rice fields in the Mississippi Delta or whatever, and we grow a lot of cotton as well, obviously. But so whenever
time out. It reminded me of fucking Tropic Thunder. Which one are you? What was the rice paddy one, or what was the other one that he had? Remember when he comes in?
Poppy Fields.
Poppy Fields. That's all right. Sorry. I don't know why that triggered in my head. I was like,
I diversify.
I diversify. Yes. Go on. Sorry.
No, you're good. So during the winter months, after the crop has been harvested, a lot of those farmers like flood the fields out. So the ducks will come in. We're right on the Mississippi River, obviously the main flyway or main thoroughfare from
Spell
Canada.
Mississippi. Go.
M-I, crooked letter I, crooked letter I, humpback.
See, I like when they do it from down south. They don't say the S's.
Mississippi, not Mississippi.
So you were like central Mississippi, by the way, or
like central-ish.
Okay.
So up there in the Delta or whatever, it's some pretty good duck hunting or whatever, and it's an experience that you can't replicate anywhere else, man. Like, you go out there and you got your waders on, and you have to hike half a mile from the truck or whatever, and this field's flooded, and you got to break the ice, but what does it for me, believe it or not, is not necessarily killing ducks. I do enjoy it, and I think that they're delicious. But if you've ever had the experience to watch a dog work,
when they actually they pick it up and get it,
so
grab, go
so
point,
cool.
grab, go, all that. Yeah,
I wish I had a dog that was that well trained.
Yeah, my dogs are assholes. So no, I can't even imagine.
Military working dogs, hunting dogs, whatever, like, they're so cool to me. Like, you don't realize how intelligent that animal is until you see it work, and like they're able to critically think and stuff as well. Like, it's really, really cool. So
no fishing though, even
I fish, but it's bit. Like, so
I figured like just
I grew up like hunting and fishing and not hunting deer or ducks, but like deer hunting. And
they got bayous out there in Mississippi too, don't they?
They're down south by the Gulf of Mexico.
Go by Biloxi.
Biloxi.
Good old Biloxi. Where did I good old Air Force? Colonel Tom was stationed down there.
Keesler Air Force.
Biloxi Blues.
Yep.
It's actually a pretty cool like little base down there.
Yeah, I know. Their Air Force base is fucking tits. I know our colonel friend here literally was stationed. That was one of his first duty stations. And
talk about falling upstairs. That one.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, like, it was like they got this cool kick-ass, like, where the intercoastal part is, where their back of that base is.
Yeah.
And they're like, they got this like chill ass spot to hang out, like this bar out there on the water, and like, I'm like, dude, this is fucking tits.
Yeah,
like,
this is really nice. So I grew up deer hunting and fishing or whatever, and deer hunting just doesn't blow my skirt up. Like, it's not my thing. Like, I can shoot a deer sitting still from 200 yards every day.
Well, yeah, I get it, because fowl's like you're moving.
It's a sport.
Flying.
That's why you got to get into like the bow hunting.
Oof. Yeah, if you're doing deer, it's definitely got to be more bow.
So that's kind of my hobbies in a nutshell, man. Like, up here, I haven't been able to hunt or whatever. Like, the He Who Must Not Be Named actually told me to go to McCoy, actually, because they have like a draw hunt thing.
Yeah, Fort McCoy has a big hunting. It's huge. Have you been up there before?
I've been to Fort McCoy. I haven't been to the
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, you go out onto the ranges, right? Like, for example, where you do like vehicle gunnery and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like these deer were unfazed with like 50 cal rounds going right overhead and shit like that.
Oh, thank you, Pete, for chiming in. And maybe step up that microphone. All right.
Hey, he was able to pull himself
It's the
away
worst
from
chair ever.
Yeah. Well, sorry, dude. I had to get the cripple a fucking chair here,
I'm just
man.
saying.
Like, I had to give him your chair because he's crippled. Like, I didn't want to give him arms and shit. You know,
Should have given him Jonesy's chair.
Jonesy's chair is a porn chair. Oh, no, that's the porn chair. We don't give him the porn chair. It's literally got something that comes up in the middle. You like that shit, the pegging. Anyway, all right, dude. It's been great having you on.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Come back.
Fuck yeah. You get in a closet with Petey, you know, or replace Petey when he's well. Actually, how long you got left around here?
So right now we got till like November, December-ish of 24. So.
Yeah, because Petey's gonna leave for a little bit sometime next year for some work trip he has to do. I don't
Gotta
know.
go on a field trip.
Yeah,
For how long?
Field trip.
A year.
I don't know. Whatever. A year, maybe less, maybe more.
Con yourself out of it.
It's maybe government sanctioned. We don't know. I don't know. But anyway, dude, great having you on.
Yeah, man,
appreciate this shit. It's been fun. Learned a lot about you. Thank you for dumbing it down for our listeners and ourselves in here, and even in the room. Some good $5 words every now and then. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank
Great accoutrement to the whole.
See, the third time he's used that word.
That's the only big word he knows. Starts using it for everything.
It behooves you to learn.
Don't use
You seen the meme about that where the guy is like the brain chair or whatever, and it's like NCOs when they get to use the word behoove.
Oh God, I hate it.
I used to love just sitting there, just like listening to him. Like, do you people just get dumber when you get the stripes on and think you need to use big words or what?
It's basically how it works.
Caveat, all those good ones. Anyway, thank you. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Thank the listeners, dude. Hey.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Dad. Catch you guys next episode.
Yeah, for sure. Peace out.